9:30 or past. It's about time to start. Today is August 4th, 2027, and this is the Golden Rain Foundation board meeting for the month of August. We are at 24351 El Toro Road in Laguna Woods in our boardroom, and I call this meeting to order. First thing first, we have to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance for everybody who can.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. All right. Let's acknowledge the media if they are here, unless they're lurking out somewhere in the cloud. Yeah. So I call to approve the agenda.
So
Yes. Before we do that,
I move to remove the agenda item 12A from agenda to refer to the Energy Committee.
okay.
We have to do that at this point in time.
The other thing I want to do is move agenda item 10B to unfinished business, did we say? Correct?
It's 12A from the agenda.
So you're wanting to remove Disaster Preparedness Committee charter from the agenda?
We may, I know about that we need to do some
Well-
edits.
Oh,
There are some
okay.
scribblers
Yes.
errors that need to get amended. So let's not remove it. Let's
No,
just-
we need to move it now. That's the proper
No.
procedure. We can verify that with staff. If we have an agenda item, that's what I read. That's what I read as far as the procedure. If we have a change in the agenda, that we need to move it at the beginning of the meeting.
We need to move it or remove it. But right now, it's not a very big, it's a little change that needs to get done, so we can get it done. The people from
So the reason why I'm asking it to be moved is because the board does not go out for RFPs.
So
They do
that's
not
your-
send out
You've
RFPs.
got confusion going on here. You're talking about 12F, and he's talking about 12A. So
Okay,
let's get
I
on the same
apologize.
page.
I apologize.
Please.
Okay.
Could you please turn the mic on when you speak? I can't hear you.
I have the mic on.
I don't know.
Okay, so Director Carpenter has requested to amend the agenda by removing the item 12F, which is the authorization for staff to release an RFP for design services only for a solar panel system with energy storage devices at the Maintenance Center Building D. So that's the item she's looking to remove from the agenda right now.
But
Does the
why?
board wish to remove this item?
Why do we need to do that? Because the committee approved it.
This motion
Yeah, committee approved
is to release an RFP, okay?
Procedure.
Yes.
She has the motion, so you have to ask a second. If there's a second, we can just decide as a board.
Okay.
You don't have to, discuss any other content.
Okay.
Right. so-
Okay,
Yes.
what is the motion?
Remove. 12S.
But if, okay,
What's the reason?
Oh, no, you don't have to ask
What
a
the reason
There's a
is-
motion.
okay, the motion is to remove. Do we have a second for that?
Okay,
Okay. So,
let's discuss.
discuss.
Siobhan has her hand raised.
Staff is following the established procedure to have RFPs reviewed by committee and the board prior to issuance. That is what this item is for.
Right.
I make a comment.
Okay, go ahead.
We're in discussion.
That was a procedure before, when we had an ad hoc committee. Okay, now we're changing the Energy Committee to a permanent
Standing.
committee, standing committee. So the rules change.
So,
So the ad hoc committee goes away. They can no longer bring their requests directly to the board. It goes to the Energy Committee to be processed for an RFP. We haven't gone out for an RFP. We only agreed to the wording.
Okay, could I ask a question?
yes, of course.
Okay. If I understand you correctly, are you saying that because it was voted on when it was an ad hoc committee?
No, it was
no longer
subsequently.
stands? Is that your, but is that the logic that you're following?
No.
No, okay.
I'm talking about proper procedure.
Well, okay.
Okay. First of all, the board does not send out RFPs, committees do. Okay, is that correct? Everybody knows that's correct. So what this motion is saying is the board was going to direct staff. And that would mean the board would also review any kind of price analysis. Our procedure is basically to have these reviewed by the committee. And so that's what I'm asking, is that it be removed and sent to the committee to send out the RFP and be evaluated by the committee as per procedure.
But Bunny, if there is a wording that can be replaced
It
and
has nothing to
corrected,
do with the wording, it's the procedure.
but, huh,
I have a suggestion. New business, item 12B, that's to establish the Energy Committee as a standing committee. So we do that first, and then we can move this
Okay.
to that.
so can we move this
I
to
will
that
have to ask
particular
staff
number?
because it's an agenda item, so what's the proper?
What number can we move it to so we can do it subsequently?
It's in the proper order now.
It currently follows the formation of the committee.
Sorry?
It currently follows the formation of the committee, so it is in a proper order.
Yeah.
I would just leave it. I suggest we just leave it in, and then when we get the Energy Committee as a standing committee, then we can move that to that.
Correct.
Well, that's true, but my research showed that if we,
We already
it is an
took care of
agenda
it.
item and we have to address.
So
the
may I
agenda.
advise that the board keep this item on the agenda when it's time to discuss this item? You can make a motion at that point to
Correct.
send it back to committee or whatever you
Okay.
deem
I
agree.
necessary.
I would think so.
My understanding is that you guys were going to remove agenda item 11C
That
from
was
today's
my,
agenda.
once we got done with this one.
Yes. So I know Kush is moving the committee reports from consent calendar to unfinished business.
Correct.
And then, so I
Yeah.
just want to make
Because
sure
there
that
are some
those.
changes that need to take place.
Okay, so Bunny, do you withdraw your motion at this time then?
If that's what the proper thing is.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
I'm just trying to follow
No problem.
procedure.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
so now,
Good.
I would like to move to amend, sorry about this, amend to remove 11C, amendments to the recreation policy. Things have come to light with regards to the use of LW and LWV
Correct.
that need to be amended, so before we approve the rec policy, might as well just make those changes.
So
Fabulous.
Okay?
So-
11C,
11C, move to what? Unfinished?
take it off the agenda completely, remove. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What else can we do?
Second,
I know.
I second it.
Okay.
Thank you. So with all those changes, can we approve the agenda?
No, you have to vote for amendment.
I move that we approve the agenda as amended.
Thank you.
Okay?
I
Okay,
second it.
thank you, thank you. Next is to approve the minutes of the last three meetings that we had, July 7th, July 16th, and July 16th.
I move that we approve the minutes,
Okay.
5A, B, and C as presented.
Thank you, thank
I
you.
second it.
All right, We come to the
Do not
report of
know
the
what the
chair,
hell is going on.
and if I may start, today, as usual, we have a very busy day with lots of items on our agenda, and
Coach, I can't hear you.
my microphone is on, so
Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
2, I'm confused. What just happened?
We are on the chair's remarks right now. We approved the agenda, and yes, as amended, and then we did approve the minutes of the last 3 committee meetings, or board meetings.
Okay.
Okay? Items number 4 and 5. So, first of all, I just heard about one of our very dear board members, Joan Milliman.
Yes.
She passed away. No. Yeah. Yesterday. And we were very good friends, and we worked together for many years, and she was a fabulous board member. Yeah, Joan Milliman, yeah. So, my condolences to her and her family, and truly miss her. If we had an issue, we always went to her. She was an expert at so many things, especially Robert's rules. So, with that, let's move on. And I'm sorry about that. The other thing that we have on the GRF are that our year is ending soon. There will be vacancies, and I strongly recommend for people who want to run for the board to think about it, be ready, and nominations open on September 11th, and then they close on September 23rd. Today, I would like to introduce you to.
Where we are? We haven't met.
I couldn't understand.
5, approval of minutes has not.
Till the little later. Today, I would like to introduce you to the Orange County Fire Authority Battalion Chief, Justin Neville. He's here in the audience, and Chief, would you like to come up and say a few words to us?
Certainly.
I forgot to mention that. Please silence all your phones if you can.
I apologize.
There's always one.
Good morning. Thank you, President Bada. Good morning to the board members of the Golden Rain Foundation and the citizens of Laguna Woods. As stated, my name is Justin Neville. I'm Battalion Chief with the Orange County Fire Authority, serving the cities of Laguna Woods, Laguna Hills, Lake Forest, Aliso Viejo, and Laguna Niguel. I'm standing here in front of you this morning to discuss access into the village of Laguna Woods, most importantly, the gates of 3, 6, 8, and 9. If you're not aware, those gates close after 11 o'clock at night. And the Orange County Fire Authority is going to be putting into service very soon in the near future, Station 12, which is going to be, I'll show you on the next slide if you wouldn't mind. The permanent station is going to be on Moulton Parkway, right next to the storage facility and at the park. And then the temporary, if it goes through, will be in the parking lot of the Stater Brothers over there by the Home Depot. With this service delivery, this enhancement, access into, most importantly, gates 3 and gate 9 are going to be hindered. With this new service delivery, our resources and resources of the Orange County Sheriff's Department will not be able to respond effectively into these gates after hours. So, as you can see, that's where the stations are right now and the proposed sites for them. Can we move to the next slide, please? Okay. So, for your knowledge, what I did was I drove these routes from the proposed sites of the station. I drove in through gates 3 and 9. Those are the two that I use because I feel that those are the most important for access. Okay? So what I did is I drove from Station 22, which is down off of Paseo de Valencia in between Carlotta and El Toro Road. And I drove to gate 3 going in through gate 1. Does everybody understand that? Okay, on there, and this is just Apple Maps recommendation. On there, it says that there is an ETA, the fastest ETA is 6 minutes. Okay? It's 1.4 miles. I drove it in 4 minutes and 6 seconds from Station 22. Okay, what I did was I drove it without lights and sirens, but I drove it and I paused my timer when I was at a stoplight to emulate what is called Code 3. That is using lights and sirens, so the fastest possible way to get to somebody when they're in distress. Driving that took me 4 minutes and 6 seconds. Next slide, please. With the proposed Station 12 going into service, if we're going to go into gate 3 to the same area, it's 1.2 miles. It says 6-minute ETA on there. I drove it in 2 minutes and 39 seconds, okay? So that's shaving off multiple minutes of our response times with the new station in place. After hours, however, with the new station in place, we would not be able to access through gate 3 because it's closing. So this is a significant reduction in the service that we would be providing to the citizens of Laguna Woods in the village. Does everybody follow that so far? Okay, great.
What would be the route that you would have to take then? Go back through gate 1?
Yeah, I'll show that on the next slide.
Okay.
Okay, so if we were using Station 12, the new station, we would have to go down El Toro Road, enter in through gate 5, and drive all the way over to gate 3.
Gate 5 is on the other
I
side.
mean, gate 1, excuse me,
Yeah.
gate 1.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah.
gate 1. We would go in through gate 1 and go all the way over to gate 3, okay? So we have a term in the fire service, in the EMS world, which stands for emergency medical services, and that is time is tissue. So every minute that the body goes without oxygen, the chances of survival are lessened. And in regards to fires, it is a fire doubles every minute. So with that service delivery that we're going to be putting into place, there will be a significant reduction in our ability to respond to those places within the Laguna Woods Village. Next slide, please. Okay. So here I'm using Station 12 distance and estimated time of arrival to Calle Corta and Sociega. I picked that intersection inside Gate 9 because that was like the furthest place you could get to in Gate 9. So going in using Gate 7, there's a 6-minute ETA. It's 1.6 miles, and I drove it in 4 minutes and 2 seconds. Next slide, please. If Gate 9 was open after 11 o'clock, I have a 4-minute ETA, the fastest, 1.3 miles, and I drove it in 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Okay? Next slide, please. All right, so this, for your education, is what the Orange County Fire Authority is going to be putting into service. This is the cost of what we call a 4-person paramedic engine. Paramedic engines is part of our service delivery at the Orange County Fire Authority. As you can see, the direct cost, company labor, that means personnel on the engine themselves, is $3,799,000. Direct cost for support labor, that would be our mechanics coming out to service our engines, buying new tires, putting new equipment on engines. That's associated with that cost as well. Direct costs for services and supplies, that would be like our fire hose, that would also be our emergency medical services, from IVs to the advanced life support drugs that we carry on our engines. Those are all the supplies that come into cost there. And then our indirect costs, $616,452. So that is the cost, and that is what we are doing. Also, I know I've been talking on behalf of the fire services, but this would also improve response for Orange County Sheriff's Department. This was also improved response for Laguna Woods Security. Now, I've always been taught when you are identifying an issue or a problem, is bring a solution. So I'm not asking for this to be fully automated. I think one of the best things that you could do, and my suggestion would be, is to make it for first responders only. I understand there's a cost that comes with this. Some things you could consider would be if we automated just the entrance of the gate only, if you phased it in over time, with the priorities being gates 3 and gate 9, and then moving on to gate 6 and gate 8, or vice versa. Obviously, you'd have to come up with your own studies. I understand there's an RFP process for you to do all this. We do have these radios that I'm holding here, the Orange County Sheriff's Department and the Orange County Fire Authority. We have a channel on here, it's called 13 Alpha. We use this to gain access to multiple communities within the surrounding areas, so we do not have to get out of our rigs to use our keys to open up a gate. We click the button on the radio and the gate opens up. It's seamless, it happens very fast, it enables us to get into communities very quickly and does not hamper our response times. So just to recap, I think one of the best ways to go about doing this is to make this a first responder access only after certain hours, whatever you deem those to be. Look at it from a cost perspective of, yes, we can start with the entrance only, because once we get in, that's our main goal. We can start providing help to people, whether that's going to be on a fire, whether it's our law enforcement partners who have to go in and answer a call for, God forbid, something happen within the village, somebody inside there that is vandalizing something or whatever that would be. So entrance would be key. If there's, you could do both, that would be great, and then phasing them in over time. I hope that this has brought some awareness to you as far as the importance of this. And even as it sits right now, even if we were not putting Station 12 into service, it would still improve response from Fire Station 22 up to Gates 3 and Gate 9, and allow us to provide better service for the community, and that's what we're here to do. I'm here to answer any questions that any of you may have.
Thank you. This is really good information. I'm sure you will leave this more information about this device and all the stuff with our security department, and so we can access that and work on it and see how we can fit it into our budget. It's the right time. We are actually in the process of approving budget, so this might be an emergency entry into our budget for the year.
Absolutely. I've been working with Aaron Kennedy on that already, and he has come up with some proposals as well, and I can provide him any further information that is needed that you guys request.
Thank you. Thank you. Does any of our board members have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Which does beg the question, what is the timing of both the temporary and the permanent Station 12?
It's probably 2 years.
Mine?
Hi, guys. Welcome. Nice to meet everybody. My name is Reed Gibson. I'm your division chief for this area, serving the same cities as Chief Neville is here. So the timeline with Station 12, we just recently decided to hold off on making the permanent station, or I'm sorry, the temporary Station 12, and focus all of our efforts on the permanent station. And because the temporary station, being that it was inside the Home Depot parking lot, running power, running water, all the facility needs that we would have to do, and the unincurred cost, was something that we felt that we can stay with our service delivery now and enhance what we are going to do for this permanent station. So by December 2029 is when we're supposed to have, that's when the drop date for having Station 12 going is. So we're working on plans with everything right now. We've got a full proposal, and the RFP will be coming out very soon, but it is slated. We do have Engine 12 in service that is at Station 19 in Lake Forest, right on the border of Laguna Woods and Lake Forest, that we've added that engine already in service, and they come into the village quite often.
So there's no temporary station now, we're just jumping right into the
We're
permanent
doing that one,
station.
yeah, because
Okay.
the juice wasn't worth the squeeze, honestly, and we just kept running into more and more roadblocks with it. And to have a fire station inside of a busy parking lot, that was our best spot where we felt as far as where it could be and somewhere we could make something temporary. But it unfortunately was just not panning out with all of the logistics.
Okay.
Good move, I would say. Thank you. Yeah.
Chief,
Huh? Sure.
question
Yes.
for the chief.
I'm here for him.
Both of you. Both of you. Actually, both of you.
Okay.
So, just so you know, we have a Security and Community Access Committee. Have you met with that committee yet?
I don't think.
I met with security, I met with Aaron, who is here today, and his boss is here today, so.
Okay, yeah, that's functional. We're talking
Yes,
about the committee.
we have not met yet. I'm the chair of the.
Oh, okay.
Mickey
Nice to
Mickey
meet you.
Choi is
Yes,
the-
nice.
We'd love to meet
is
you.
the committee chair
Yes.
for that. And I think
Good to
that's
see
the
you.
best way to do it because
Right.
it gets stuff done. And this is a really good recommendation. I think the sheriffs need it, the local police, all first responders. Thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
John?
Do we have any idea the cost per gate to install this system?
So I've looked it up, and I've gotten roughly near 1,500 to 2,500. Are you getting the same numbers per gate? And that's just to install the unit. Some gates might need a better opener, or
Okay.
it all depends on what kind of gate you have. Are you getting anything different, sir?
The gates are there too, as you know, they're just locked manually.
Okay.
So it would not, as far as I can tell, I'm no subject matter expert on it, but I don't think there would need to be an installation of a new gate. It would just be putting a mechanical machinery on it to make it open. Aaron has done some work on that.
The problem is the gates currently would need to be refurbished in order to handle the motor, in order to swing those gates open, or if it's going to be another one that slides open. So the cost is going to be more than that. Obviously, that cost for the click to enter is something we'd have to look at. The proposals that we came up with previously when we were talking about gate automation, and obviously this is going to be a lot more money than I'm sure what it will be with the limited equipment that's necessary for this one. We were looking at $454,000 for those two gates, specifically gates 3 and 9. So, but that's going to be less because that particular system was to allow residents to also have 24-hour access and all the things that go with that. But the gates will still need to be reinforced and so that the motors can, run them properly.
I think this is a good topic for the committee to address.
Yes.
And if you could give us this information for the committees to work on, that would be good timing. And it's good timing. As I mentioned earlier, it's the budget time.
Hopefully not $454,000.
I don't
No,
think
no,
we
it's not that.
implemented it pretty soon.
I was thinking more about the garage door opening.
Can we get them a TV on there? Thank you. While we have these two gentlemen here, I have a question that's near and dear to Yvonne and in my heart. So we need to slow people down here in the village. They go too fast on the streets, okay? And the topic that always comes up is speed bumps or speed tables or anything like that. And God love VMS, I know that they've researched this, but I want to hear it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. If we did stuff like that, how impactful would that be on your response time?
It does impact it, honestly. It will, but we have to weigh those out on what's for the daily activities
Yeah.
and then the emergency activities. So I don't know the numbers on what it does to slow. When we come in, we don't go over the speed limit when we go. We just make sure we have an efficient route.
We have
that can get rid of-
members here who
Right.
do.
So
Yeah.
that's what we do. And speed bumps, I have been on streets that do have speed bumps. We drive all the time, and it does slow us down. We kind of lose our head of speed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That we're head of steam that we have going there. But it definitely will. But whether or not our guys with the intimate knowledge of the area find the areas that don't have the speed bumps, and they'll start taking those routes or whatever. But I completely understand where you're coming from with that.
And just for everybody's knowledge, because I heard the statistic and I was blown away by it, on average, how many times a day do you guys respond to Laguna Woods Village?
I would say a lot.
It's one of the busiest stations in the nation.
I heard mid-20s, like 25 times a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these guys are in here all the time. They run
Well,
silent, but they're
I'll put
here
it this
all
way,
the time.
in Laguna Woods, we run 5% of our calls out of our 78 fire stations in 23
you
cities
go.
and unincorporated areas that we cover. So 5% of our calls are running into the village. So a very busy fire station.
And we thank you guys for that.
Thank you. Thank you for
We
all the
appreciate
hard work.
Oh,
you
yeah,
guys put.
it's our pleasure and ours.
And saving all the people and serving all the people. Yeah, I wanted to say saving them from whatever they needed to get done, but in any case, we
Well,
can talk details when we plan on meeting on this, and I definitely would like to set up a meeting as we discussed earlier. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and
Thank you.
I appreciate Justin for putting this on for you guys, and I just thank you guys for listening, because we take pride in getting to helping you guys and providing you guys the best service as quick as possible. And when there are these hindrances in there, it's really tough for us, and we want to make sure that we can get to you and help you out as soon as possible.
We would like to remove all the roadblocks that are there. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you all.
very much. Appreciate it. All right.
So we referred to committee then, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
So with that, we come to the next item on our agenda, and that is the
Low pressure zone.
the Department of Water, the ETWD, is going to make a presentation to us with the president and two of his members of his staff. So please, and we're going to talk about the low pressure zone improvement project. It's near Gate 4.
Exactly. Good
Thank-
morning.
Good morning to you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. My name is Dennis Cafferty. I'm the general manager at the district. And I have with me this morning our Director of Engineering, Hannah Ford, and our Public Affairs Manager, Sherry Seitz. Hannah's going to come up in a moment and walk you through this project. We identified a need. It wasn't something that was budgeted, but once we found out there was something that required attention and improvement, we jumped on it with the full support of our board. I might add, this was not a budgeted project. But we immediately jumped into trying to figure out how to make this work as quickly as possible, because there's some pressure issues in a portion of United that we feel need to be addressed. And so we're moving on it as quickly as we can. But I do want to say thank you for the opportunity to be here. And I want to point out again, this is, again, anytime we're going to go do something that is not budgeted, and we're talking about something that's probably somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million without having had it in our original capital budget. And I want to express my appreciation to our board as well, who immediately said, yeah, we get it, it's necessary, go. And so we're moving very quickly on this project, and Hannah's going to come up and kind of walk you through what's going on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis, and thank you all for your time. This is a very important project to us. If you go to the next slide. I'm going to first explain why we're doing this project, explain what it is that it is our solution to the problem that was raised, and then talk a little bit about our schedule, and then we want this to be the jumping off point for our discussions with GRF, and then next week we present at United, because ultimately we'll have to enter into new easement agreements. Next slide, please. So a couple months ago, we had two people actually, two different customers, a couple weeks apart, contact us and let us know that they were experiencing low pressure. When that happens, that's a concern. We immediately respond, and I'll get into what we found through that field investigation in a couple slides. But what we learned is that the area that's highlighted in this slide over near Gate 4 has lower pressure than we'd like. So all of those homes that are highlighted are part of what we call our low 1 zone. That's a hydraulic zone. We manage 11 different pressure zones in our entire water distribution network. And in this zone, we actually reduce down pressure from what we call our gravity zone to maintain pressure within a desired range. And when we identified these two customers living close to each other, we learned that there was actually probably multiple that were impacted by the concern. So first I want to talk to you about what low pressure is and how it occurs. Can you go to the next slide? Water pressure is impacted by a multitude of things. Some of the key factors are elevation. If you live at a higher spot, you are going to be subject to lower pressure conditions. If you're at a two-story, if you're the second story of a two-story building, you experience lower pressure than those that live underneath you. It's also influenced by the length of pipe that it takes to get the water to you. The number of valves on that pipe, those all create friction losses so that we have to overcome, and when that happens, you lose pressure. Also demand. So if we have a lot of people calling for water at the same time, all those people are going to experience lower pressure than if they had each sequenced their call for that water at different times of day. And then the final thing is we manage pressure up to the meter, but what happens downstream of the meter depends on what the customer side plumbing looks like. So typically you'd have 1 meter serving a home, but sometimes, and especially in these older developments, we might have 1 meter serving a lot of different homes, a lot of different multifamily, or splitting the pipe to serve so many different customers. And all those customers are competing for the same kind of pressure, and so they may not be getting ideal situations happening. So all of those things can influence the pressure condition that's happening in your system. So go to the next slide and I'll explain what's happening in this area near gate 4. So we went out there and we put some pressure recorders on the nearest hydrants to where the customer complaints occurred. And what we found is that in the winter, we seem to have pretty good pressure. We typically like to provide 40 or above. We can't provide more than 80 because then that's too high. So there's a sweet spot there. In the winter, pressure seemed to be good. In the summer, there were some times, you see these kind of peaks and valleys in the summer graph, that it was less than desired. And it seemed like the valleys in the graph were being caused when perhaps irrigation is also being called for. So when you have a really high draw, like high demand, when you're calling for irrigation, that competes with when other customers need their water. So we think there's a linkage between the fact that it's happening in summer, that's when more irrigation is happening, and then the timing of when these valleys are happening in the graph. There seems to be something going on. So this is less than ideal. We want to address it, and we want to address it as soon as possible. It's a system-wide problem, though, so it's not a simple fix. After we recalibrated our hydraulic model with this pressure data that we got at the hydrant, we found that we could solve the problem by installing new infrastructure. If you go to the next slide, I can show you what that infrastructure will be. So we are going to install 500 new feet of piping, long length of piping. And along that pipe, we have to also install a new pressure regulating station. And that's because we don't want the pressure to be too high, but we also don't want it to be too low. So we'll have 2 valves, one 12-inch, that's pretty big, and one 4-inch. Typically, flow will go through the 4-inch, but when we have those really high calls for demand, like when the irrigation demand is happening, we need that 12-inch to be able to manage that higher flow. The best spot for us to be able to connect essentially this hydraulic zone to another hydraulic zone that has higher pressure is through Avenida Sevilla. It'd be right where gate 4 is. So we'd like to lay new 12-inch pipe through that street. And then we've already been meeting with some of VMS staff on where exactly we can place the new pressure regulating station. And we had some concepts at first, we're thinking below ground in a vault. The drive over could be one solution, but that comes with some concerns. We mentioned earlier, people drive pretty fast in the neighborhood. So we would have to do traffic control anytime we want to get into the vault. And there's a kind of a clink clink that happens when you drive over a vault like that. Noise is not great in the community. So we ultimately landed on placing the new PR station in the vegetated area along Avenida Sevilla. So if you go to the next slide, I can show you on the left, that's a photo looking down Avenida Sevilla towards gate 4. So in that vegetated space, we can find space for a new PR station. I have an example of what a PR station would look like. We still haven't completed design, but this is an example. It's pipes and valves, that's it. And we can put some vegetation around it so it's not an eyesore. But generally, you're just going to be looking at something like that. It's not unlike what you see as you drive through the community when you see fire service connections or backflows. But this would be a bit larger because it's 12-inch piping and another 4-inch pipe parallel to that. So in terms of timing, we're trying to expedite this. Could you go to the next slide? Right now, we are procuring a design consultant. I wish we could just go ahead and lay 500 feet of pipe and build this new PR station overnight, but these things take time. We have to do a geotechnical investigation because we want this to last. So we want the bedding underneath the pipe to be designed so that it can stand the test of time. We have to do a survey so that when we do our connections, they'll be at the right locations, and that can support our easement acquisition process with the legal descriptions. So we expect that we can complete design by the end of this year. In parallel with our design process, we'd like to work with you to develop that easement agreement. And then the next portion is procuring the construction contractor. And you're familiar with the RFP process or the bid process. Those things take time too. We are trying to expedite that final phase, seeing if we can do anything a little bit more creative in terms of the delivery method that could potentially expedite how long it takes us to get a contractor on board. But what I'm showing here is the conservative estimation of when we could get this solution on board. So if we procure a contractor Q1 of next year, then we could, it's a pretty quick construction time frame. We think about 3 months would be the duration. And the actual on-site active construction phase of that wouldn't be too long either, so that by summer of next year, we would have this fully online. Next slide, please. During construction, we will make every effort to minimize the impact to the community. I mentioned it's about a 3-month construction duration, and we would be needing some traffic control during that time, so we would work together on what lane closures would be appropriate when we have to lay that new pipe. There would be no interruption in water service. So luckily we do have adequate valving and isolation that when we do the connections to either side, the side within Via Los Altos and then the side in Paseo de Valencia, we're able to connect to those water mains without interrupting your ability to access potable water. But gate 4 would need to be closed for, we think, about 2 weeks while we place that piping. In terms of the landscaping, we'd make sure that once we install the new PR station, we bring everything back to its original condition or better. And then noise, we'd try to avoid any nighttime work so that we're not creating excessive noise for the community. With that, I welcome any questions. Go to the next slide. I'll do a little wrap up. We want today to be us beginning our easement coordination with you. We want to get your buy-in on what we're proposing with that above ground PR station and the vegetation around it to screen it so that it aligns with your landscape. And then finally, if you have any concerns with any of the other construction impacts, we welcome your input. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I think you have thought about everything. I have simple question.
Yes.
And that is, this looks like a permanent solution for
Yes.
the problem we are having. But in the meantime, while this construction and planning and all that is going to happen, the people who got affected are not experiencing any low pressure. Their problems have been alleviated. Am I understanding that?
So you're right that there should be, it would be nice if we could find an interim solution because nobody wants to have low pressure. So in order to try to see if there's something that can happen in the interim before next summer when we can have the permanent solution in place, we have been talking to VMS staff because a solution could be something like if this problem's happening when we're all calling for irrigation water, perhaps we could stagger that call, right? If you spread out when the demand is happening, that can improve pressure. So is that a solution that could fix something? We're talking to them. We've met with them a couple times starting in the past couple weeks, and we're evaluating all their irrigation controller data to see if there's an opportunity there that could help with an interim solution. I can't promise anything yet because we haven't found that, but we are working on it because we understand this is an important issue.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you said that gate 4 is going to be closed about 2 weeks. Is
Yes.
that the whole construction time?
That's not the whole construction time. We think about 3 months is the whole construction
months.
time, but we think that in order to place that pipe, the 500 feet of pipe, that we would need to do about 2 weeks. And
Okay.
I think that's conservative
All
to
right.
lay and backfill the pipe for the link for the gate 4 closure.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Anybody else?
Martin has a question.
Yes, Martin.
And then
Yes, good morning. The pump regulator station, is it, or it's a pressure regulator, is it a pump? Is it a manifold distribution system? Does it make noise? What are we looking at there?
Not a pump. It's a pressure reducing valve. It's 2 pressure reducing valves. So if you get up really close to it, you might hear a little bit of whistling, but it's not something you'd be able to hear from 5 feet back.
Okay.
Yeah. No electronics. It's all hydraulically managed.
And this is on your dime, no special
That
cost
is a good
easement?
question. No, we are not adding any additional costs to accommodate this. We're shifting the projects that we had budgeted so that we can prioritize this over other things.
Thank you.
And I think John had a question. Oh.
In terms of aesthetics, obviously the vault is the better way to go. Have you checked adjacent parking lots and so forth where travel would be less and you might be able to put it in a vault?
That's a good question. So in the area that we can make this connection, so we have to put the PR station close to where that 500 stretch of piping is that's going to connect basically where our main that is located in Paseo de Valencia is to the area that's impacted. So that street, Avenida Sevilla, is where we have to do the piping connection. And close to that piping is where we have to put the PR station, the pressure regulating station. So I didn't see any parking lots in that area. If you know of one, I'm all ears. We just walked that length, and it seemed like it was either going to have to be in that intersection of Villa Los Altos and Avenida Sevilla, or it was going to have to be in the vegetated space.
Okay, we'll take another look. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Thank you. Yes, John?
I know we're a community that was built in '64. So the obvious question is, this is an issue in this one area by Gate 4. Do we have concerns about other possibilities within the community that may have this same situation?
So no, and why I say no is because we do actively look at all of our systems hydraulics. A couple years ago, we did an update in our water sewer master plan where we did do a calibrated hydraulic model to check that we were providing adequate system pressures everywhere. And this edge case just got missed because it's just that. It's at the edge. It's at the very southernmost portion of our service area, and we didn't have a specific pressure recorder in that area when we calibrated the model. So it wasn't until we got these calls that we knew it was an issue. So I would be surprised if there was other edge cases that we missed, because we do take a close look at our hydraulics regularly, and if we don't get it right, we hear from you. So, or we would like to hear from you. So definitely encourage customers, if you're hearing that they have issues, to let us know, because that helps us. We're always continuing to refine how we deliver the water and how we can calibrate this best.
Sounds terrific. We will let our landscape department know, and they are probably working very closely with you, and ask them to adjust their delivery time for landscape irrigation. So
Now, does she need to, because I'm looking at Charlie here, the president of United, so do you need to also coordinate with United on this
Of
as
course.
well? So-
Right.
yeah,
We'll be presenting next week to United, and then also at a town hall next week. So if you hear anyone who wants to hear from us, we're happy to do as many presentations as we need. We're at the early stage of this. We haven't even gotten on board the designer or the contractor yet, so we'll continue to present as we have more updates.
thank you. Anybody have any questions? One more time? No, okay. Thank you for coming
Oh,
down.
wait a minute, John had his hand up.
John, you have another question?
I just have, it's basically a thank you. Water isn't everything, but it's way ahead of whatever's in second place. So this is something that's crucial to literally our survival, and I want to thank you for...
John, microphone.
It's on.
Okay.
And I just want to thank you for doing such a wonderful service to be able to turn on a faucet and have water.
Thank you, and thank you all for your time.
Thank you, and thank you, Dennis, for all the stuff you do for us. Thank you. All right, moving on.
CEO report.
That was a great report. I hope everybody understood what we're doing. All right. Next is the CEO's report.
Thank you, President Botta, honorable members of the board and our audience. I want to start today by just going over the dates of the new fire station project. I know the chief touched on them, but I thought I'd put them on screen just so everybody has them. As you know, OCFA released a press release at the end of July outlining the new project. In terms of project phases, the design phase is occurring in the current fiscal year, and the construction phase will take place in fiscal year 27-28. In terms of project milestones, the required site development approvals from the city must be obtained by June 30th of 2027 to stay on schedule. And as the chief said, operations must commence on the property by the end of December 2029. This slide simply states that OCFA decided to redirect their focus to completing the fire station rather than trying to stand up the temporary station. He explained why, the cost of utilities, the busyness of the parking lot, and so forth. Some exciting news, the DirecTV rollout is underway. Yesterday, DirecTV began creating accounts for residents. They're going to create approximately 1,000 accounts each week, and this will progress through October. Emails and streaming boxes go out as the accounts are established. And I just want to emphasize that assistance is available to residents. There are monthly DirecTV informational sessions by invitation. So invitations are emailed to residents as their phases begin to be rolled out. And the first sessions were held about 2 weeks ago, and we had more than 800 residents attend those sessions that were held at the PAC. There's also on-site help from DirecTV representatives. They're on-site upstairs on the 3rd floor in the MAC Club, Monday through Wednesday of each week from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. They are closed for lunch from noon to 1 p.m. This is a drop-in service. You can come ask all your questions from a live DirecTV representative. And then we publicized last Friday 7 tips that are offered to help you stream DirecTV. Very briefly, one is to verify that your email address with resident services or in the resident portal is accurate, because that's how DirecTV communicates with you. You may want to consider using a Google account. Any valid email address can be used for DirecTV, but use of a Google account offers access to DirecTV's Google Play apps and voice control features. If your DirecTV account is created using an email address and you'd like to change it, please just contact DirecTV customer service after your account has been established. And DirecTV has a specific telephone number for Laguna Woods Village, and that is 866-258-8766. The 4th tip is that after you receive your DirecTV equipment, please sign in and change your password. Your DirecTV login information has been created for you, but your username is the email address on file with resident services. But every person gets a temporary password, which is Laguna Woods Village 2026 ! So you want to be sure to change that password. When your equipment arrives, watch for your DirecTV welcome email. Once you receive it, you'll download the DirecTV app and start watching instantly. The 6th tip, follow setup instructions included in your package once your equipment arrives. And 7, if your DirecTV package is reported as missing or lost, please call the customer service number, and again, that's 866-258-8766. But we encourage everyone to take advantage of all the help and assistance that is available to you during this transition period. The asphalt pavement and repair project is underway, as well as the seal coat project. This is going to occur on GRF roadways and in mutual cul-de-sacs through October. On the screen before you are the GRF locations where this will occur this year. And then on the next slide are the mutual locations. And there are a lot of cul-de-sac numbers, I realize that. And then I'm going to switch to manor alterations. Just to remind everybody that manor alterations has produced a new informational video to assist residents navigating the resale inspection process. The video provides an overview of the steps needed to secure required inspections. And this and other manor alteration videos are available on the village website under Services, Manor Alterations videos. Videos available include Welcome to Manor Alterations, How Do I Obtain a Mutual Consent for a Project? Again, the Manor Alterations resale inspection process, and the recent Manor Alterations Town Hall is available for viewing, as well as Protect Yourself Against Scams and Fraud. And that concludes my update this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, one sec, Martin, I have one quick question. We will receive an email to create a account for DirecTV. Can we have more than one account in a household, like me and my wife can have 2 separate accounts?
It is whatever email address is on file for your unit in resident services.
Oh, okay, so one account? Okay, thank you. Yes, Martin?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to what Siobhan said. I've been traveling internationally, and that was the thing about the new DirecTV system that we're getting, is that what we can do if we travel remotely with that service. And I was on the other side of the world, and I could, with my laptop, I could not access the DirecTV streaming whatsoever, nor could I with the Gemini box that they had, because it was my internet incapabilities. But with my phone and with the right VPN, that I could, I got my DirecTV, and then using the AirPlay, I could shoot it right onto a smart TV. And I had like all the TV comforts of home, and I was 7,000 miles away, and I just thought that was the cat's meow. And I just wanted to
Martin, you mentioned a lot of technical things.
I know, lots of words there.
So which almost went like
Cat's
this
meow?
over my head.
VPN.
Well, yeah, virtual private network is a VPN.
That's why we have help available on the third
Yes,
floor. Let's
right,
leave it at
yeah.
that.
People like,
But I'm just saying, if you want to use the service, and I think domestically you won't need that, but if you travel internationally, none of the less.
But we'll have to learn from you how to do that.
Yeah, it's they'll cover that with you. But a virtual private network, I used Proton. There's many out there.
Okay.
Okay.
Martin will be conducting classes.
Yes, John.
Yes, we had 800 people at that event. The problem was a woman, a resident, I assume, put on Facebook that it was open to come that day.
What?
And it should only be for the people who get the invitation. I mean, we were swamped. I mean, I couldn't talk after there was no voice left.
There is some good news.
You opened yourself up for that one.
Yeah,
You really
I
did.
know. Thank you.
All right. I think everybody seems to be happy about things, so it's good. So it's now time for open forum. Do we have people who need to speak to us?
Yes, we have 8 in-person speakers, and then I think we have about 4 emails that were sent in that I'll read after.
So let's get to it. Thank you.
Yes. The first speaker will be Chris Collins.
All right. Hi, Chris.
I've been doing it for 9 years, so anyway. Yeah, Foundation of Laguna Woods, Chris Collins, 3306Q. I'm here with another report. What I wanted to tell you about is that Good Neighbor projects that I've been talking about for the last couple of months, all the clubs have been chosen, and there are going to be 10 offerings. And it's going to happen starting September through December. So, and I think that everybody's pretty aware of why we did this. It was funded through a special bequest that the foundation has, and this is to really promote cohesiveness and community within our community. So I'm just going to briefly tell you the 10 different projects. So the African American Club is sponsoring a game day celebration. They've done that in the past. It's been well attended. California Club is hosting something called Music and Munchies, and this is going to be located at the Towers. The Camera Club is once again going to do resident and pet photographic portraits. And then Castle Music Club, this is in United, and this is an outdoor music picnic and potluck, and it's going to be in the green area that we have them all over, but United really does this really well. So they did that last year. It was well attended. Chinese American Club is doing a senior citizens festival. The Garden Club is doing something growing together project. This is kind of informational about, growing and produce and so on. The Reform Temple is going to do something called Bouquets and Smiles Outreach Project. It's a thing where temple members are going to visit shut-ins. Then the Springboks Club they're hosting something called In Memory of Our Pets, and it's going to be down by the creek. And the Tennis Club is doing Good Neighbors Sunday Social. And then the last one is the Baha'i Club. And the Baha'i Club, because of the way their organization is, they do not accept any kind of funding. We have given $500 grants to the clubs that have been funded, but they can't avail themselves of that. But they're still doing something, and it's they're hosting a dinner program entitled Our Connectedness, and it's going to be October 13th, 6:30 at Clubhouse 3 Dining Room, and it's a community building event, including a film oneness discussion, and then there's dinner. Last year, they shared with us what they did. It's pretty amazing. So if you have any questions, you can always call Foundation at 949-268-2246, or you can email us at thefoundation@email.com. So, and of course, you can always look on our website, which is the Foundation. It's foundation.LagunaWoodsVillage.org. So thank you.
Thank you, Chris. You always have such great information.
Next speaker is Juanita Skillman, and then following will be Chris Keys.
Good morning. I'm here with your monthly library report. Volunteers at the library worked 721 hours, supporting 2,009 residents during the month of July. The total count reflects 35 children's books that we have been promoting this summer. It's really starting to pick up. The last couple of weeks, we've seen more and more grandparents, aunts, uncles, whatever, bringing children in. And a lot of them read books there. We do have a little section there, and some of them take them out. As with other honor items, we count them when they come back. And so we got 35 back. 2,498 items were circulated throughout the front desk, and we signed 32 residents up into our circulation computer system. And so we felt it was a very good month. It's kind of interesting that circulation of all cataloged items was up during this month, except fiction. Amazing. Usually that's our number one. People were reading other things. So we do have some excellent new fiction. So I encourage all of you to come by the library. It's also a cooling center. We have a lovely reading room. We have comfortable chairs. We have puzzles. We have magazines. We have newspapers. And if you are hot in the middle of these wonderful afternoons, come in and spend a couple of hours at your library. Thank you.
Thank you, Juanita.
Next speaker is Chris Keys, and then following will be Pete Colt.
Good morning, members of the board. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you. I asked for a pamphlet to be passed out relative to a project that our lawn bowling club is proposing, and that the lawn bowling club has a history of giving to the community. In fact, an example of that is a member provided a legacy that allowed for the clubhouse to be built there many years ago. But we'd like to continue along those lines and be able to offer an opportunity to put lighting up on our greens. We want to do that for a couple of reasons. First of all, the heat. The heat is a real challenge to all of our members, most particularly our members who are in their 90s. We have 8 of those in their 90s bowling regularly, and our 80-year-olds where we have scores of 80-plus-year-olds playing lawn bowling. And lawn bowling's unique in it truly is a sport of a lifetime. So we have a meeting set up with the Recreation Department and the Engineering Department on the 10th of August to go over the details of this particular project. We're working closely with the Village Community Fund, an outstanding organization that does wonderful things in the community, so we're excited about that and their expertise. Then we have to meet with the Community Activities Committee, and hopefully we'll be on their agenda sometime this fall relative to the project and get their approval, hopefully. And then we'd be back here in front of the GRF board to be able to go ahead and get your approval of our project. But again, we're hoping to do a fundraiser to raise all the funds necessary for this project. And we're excited about the opportunity it offers to increase our membership, to expand the hours of play for our members, and also to be able to have a competitive offering for our activity within the community for years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it.
Next speaker is Pete Colt, and then following will be Gail Brook.
Good morning, everybody. I am here to thank you guys again. Last week I think it was, Director Liberatore was on Channel 6 talking about the water crisis that we're probably going to be facing, and the fact that the state of California wants us to reduce our water use by 15% over time. Well, as a result of that, instead of running my faucet full whenever I wash my hands, I run it at like half or a third now. What I'm asking is this. I was also at the Landscape Committee for United, and Kurt was there. And Shaban, if you can lend us Kurt for a town hall on landscaping and how the landscaping is tied in with the water use in our village, that would probably be really helpful for Third United and GRF when you have a town hall. I mean, we start educating people would be a good thing. Director Costello, thank you. You asked a really great question about the speed bumps.
Oh.
And if I may, I remember showing you this way back when, the day that they launched the bus service to the Arbor.
Yes.
If you guys could pass this along. These are called Mr. Policeman. I grabbed those guys as they exited, the firemen, and I showed them these things, and they said, oh, what they do is they measure the axle width of the first responders, and you leave a gap so that they can just go straight through without having to think about going over a bump at all. The other thing I wanted to bring up, please, is this. On Avenida Castilla, at Via Castilla, is a two-way stop. Now, those of us who live in that neighborhood know you have to wait while the people are heading south. They don't have a stop sign. Sometimes they don't signal. They just take that stop. They just take it and go. People who don't live in that neighborhood, people visiting from other parts of the village or from outside the village don't know this, and it's a T-bone waiting to happen. So if we could install a stop sign on the third part of Avenida Sevilla at Avenida Castilla at Via Castilla, that would probably prevent an accident in the future. Director Mickey, you are an incredible woman. Thank you for all the work you've done on this budget. That's a lot of hard work, and each and every one of you board members deserves the greatest of thanks from all of us because you work really hard for each and every one of us every day. And I think sometimes we probably lay awake at night thinking about what needs to be done in this village. So thank you.
We do.
Yeah, thank you.
Unfortunately, we do. Thank you, Pete.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Gail Brook, followed by Diane Phelps afterwards.
Good morning. My name is actually Gail Ashbrook.
Oh.
No worries. My husband and I have owned our home here for the last 3 years, so we're a bit newbies still, but we love living here. I am a weekly volunteer at the village library here because I'm a retired librarian, and I still like to help people use library collections. I also donate my time to facilitate the National Level 1 Senior Tennis Tournament that is held here. And the presence of the tournament here was a major reason for our decision to move to Laguna Woods. You see, my husband and I play tennis nationally and internationally. So having a national tennis tournament in our backyard is significant to us. I'm here today because I am concerned about the new provisions in the Golden Rain Foundation Recreation and Special Events Department Policies and Procedures, the tournament section. There are 14 proposed regulations. I think clarification is needed on the following. Number 2 talks about the application process, but I am puzzled by the statement, all new applications. Are there old applications? Are there standing applications? Please explain. Number 4 states a fee must be paid within 2 weeks of the application being approved, yet the amounts are not stated. A link is not provided to the GRF pricing policy and fee schedule. So what are the fee amounts? It's never wise to approve something without reading the small print. Number 5 states recreation is required to approve the application and the required documentation. What are the approval requirements? What documents are required? Again, the devil is in the small details. Number 8 states the application will not be accepted if backup material is not provided. What kind of backup material is foreseen? Ross Cortese, the developer of Laguna Woods Village, concluded from a USC study about healthy aging that recreation is a vital part of a retirement community. All the clubs that hold tournaments here need time to assess the impact of the new tournament section. Tournament stakeholders are residents of Laguna Woods who donate their valuable time and energy to promote sports that foster healthy aging. Tournament stakeholders need time to assess this new tournament policy. The Recreation Department needs to be transparent about the fees and respond to residents' questions.
Ma'am?
So my last sentence was, I urge you not to approve the document today. And I know it has been taken off the agenda today. But I urge you to look at these regulations that I mentioned. Yes, sir.
Thank you. I think all the information you provided is very important for us, and we will make sure it is all reviewed and taken care of.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
Okay, next speaker is Diane Phelps.
And welcome to Laguna Woods.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes.
And Marie Collins will follow.
Oh, hi,
Hello,
Diane.
I'm here as president, today as president of the Village Community Fund, just to give you a quick update on a couple of things we're working on. One is the Aquadettes. Their show is going to be August 13th, 14th, and 15th at 8 p.m. Tickets are available at the Community Center Recreation Office, Clubhouse 1 Clubhouse 1 office, and the Performing Arts Center ticket office. And the tickets are only $20, and part of what allows them to keep the price so low is that people have made donations through Village Community Fund to help them with their costumes, the cost of their props and set decorations, as well as some audiovisual equipment. So if you'd like to make a donation to them, you can go to our website, which is villagecommunityfund.org, and you can see all of the clubs that we're currently working with, and make a tax-deductible donation to one of them or to all of them if you'd like. And the other is the Garden Center Club last Saturday had their farmers market, and I haven't heard the tally this year, but again, donations that were made, that's what helped pay for the plants that they grew and to keep the plants healthy, the soil amendments and such, and that allowed them to then donate whatever amount they received from the sale of the goods to, last year it was to the Meals on Wheels program, I think. But And the other I was going to mention, just to tag on what Chris said, is that, we mentioned the lawn bowling, not to put pressure on you we realize this process takes a while, but this is one of those projects that has to be approved by GRF before we can accept it at Village Community Fund. So we just hope that you'll support the project, is why we're mentioning it. And we also have something that's coming, we think, from the tower. So there's a lot sort of going on behind the scenes, but some of it is a little too soon to mention. But that's it. I just thank you guys for your time.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you very much.
And next speaker is Marie Collins, and then following is Janet Labar.
Good morning. I want to speak with you about the Serpentine Walk. It crosses Calle Oregon, which is an asset of GRF, and it does not have a crosswalk in the pavement. You can't see one to the right or to the left. It's not really safe. I would like to request that you consider putting a crosswalk / thing in the pavement where Serpentine goes across Calle Oregon. Number 2, on your agenda today, I believe you're going to consider raising the rates of the speed limit things. In conjunction with that, I would like for you to consider in the part where you take more money for enforcing this, whether you raise the rates or whether you keep them as they are, I would like to request that you ask your attorney, John Hanson, to look into. There are only 8 cities in the state of California which are permitted to use automatic. The radar takes a picture of the license plate and the speed. There are 8 cities that can do that, but HOAs on their private property roads can do so. If the amounts of the fees are within certain parameters. So again, I would like to ask you to ask your attorney, John Hanson, to look into that for you and see what is our best fiduciary decision on how to proceed with that. Next, I would like to speak in favor of both of the presentations that you saw this morning. There's nothing more important in here for our fiduciary duty than taking care of safety. And right now, the fire department, and we've been talking about this at least for a year that I know of, that the fire department vehicles need to be able to get into every gate immediately. We need to figure out some way to do that and do it, and then proceed with their recommendation. And last, I have found that the El Toro Water District is probably the best run organization I have run into in all of my work here. And I really support the work that they have done to bring up this improvement on the water pressure. I would support both of those if I have any influence at all. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie.
Final in-person speaker is Janet Labar, and then there's 4 emails that I'll read after.
Hello, Janet Labar, 540C. I'm here to follow up on my quest, which is to make Laguna Woods Village more accessible to a hidden community of photosensitive individuals. It's a disability recognized by the American ADA. And I met with the Recreation Committee, and Director Costello was very interested and keen in asking questions about my concerns, which are that there are strobe lights that are activated quite randomly at Clubhouse 5 during the dances. I have been attending for a year and a half. I've lived here about that long. And very occasionally it happens, not a lot, and the technician has always been responsive to the organizers to not deploy the strobing lights. Well, there was an incident once where he did not, and he decided that he was going to strobe whether anyone wanted the strobe lights or not. So I decided there needed to be a policy developed about this. So my request was that we simply eliminate that one particular feature. All of the other light effects are fine, they're delightful, they set a lovely mood, but can we please stop the strobing? Allison was in attendance, and she implemented a rather unusual solution, which was to put up a sign at the entrance to the Clubhouse 5 ballroom that says, photosensitive people, there might be strobing, so enter at your own risk. So basically, I walked in and I saw this sign, and it stopped me in my tracks because it was inappropriate. There was no scheduled strobing. It was merely a CYA, I felt, measure. And to me, you might as well have had a big fist with a middle finger saying photosensitive people keep out. I was very insulted and offended. I went in anyway, and in fact, there was no strobing. So it was a red herring, which is also a bad idea, because if you keep putting these signs up and you don't actually strobe, people get complacent, and then when you actually do put on a performance where there is strobing that can affect people with epilepsy and migraines and seizures and PTSD and autism that are affected in this manner, it's a bad idea. We reduced noise levels at great expense because of concerns for people's hearings. So I would ask that we put a moratorium on the strobing until you can develop a policy on it for further study, so that we can have the same courtesy for the sight photosensitivity impaired as well.
Labar, we are out of time.
And I'm done.
If you're done.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll go ahead and read the several emails that were submitted in. The first one is from Sung Ho Sa, and they stated, Dear GRF board members, 1, current broadband TV shows 4 Korean channels, 18-2 SBS, 18-3 NBC, 18-4 YTN, and 44-1 KBS with $32 a month without any extra payment. But direct TV with basic channel, $25 a month, doesn't include any Korean channels. Even 14% are Korean residents in Laguna Woods Village. Korean residents should pay an additional $30 a month extra if Koreans want to watch any Korean channel, even one channel. 2,500 Korean residents want to add minimum any 4 Korean channels out of 11 Korean channel package without any additional payment, same as broadband. It's easy to add them because DirecTV already has 11 Korean channel packages. More than 500 Korean residents have signed the petition request format. Would you please listen to Korean residents' issues? Thank you. The next one is from Ms. Teresa Frost, and they stated, hello, please wrote this comment to the GRF board. I strongly support increased speeding penalties, but I am concerned that the proposed schedule begins. Oh, I apologize. This is for a future item. I'll read it at that point in time. Next one is Crystal Mayer, and they said, hi, I have some questions in regard to the Recreation Department's tournament rules. First of all, I wonder what sort of user input they receive for these rules. It seems as though the tennis club have not had any input. My questions are, I would like to know how long this approval process takes. How does this new policy differ from old, and what were the reasons? Was this specifically for tennis, or is this a pickleball thing too? Thank you for addressing these concerns. And then, let me see, the next one is from Amelia Morris, and they said, I am asking you to consider 4 important resident concerns. First, please extend the Clubhouse 4 art studio hours. In an informal poll of more than 200 residents, almost 98% wanted evening access for studio time or fun, resident-led classes in the evenings. Currently in Laguna Woods Village, residents begin cleanup at 3:30 p.m. 5 days a week, while a majority of art studios and other senior communities stay open late 7 days a week. If a club can find a supervisor willing to work late or wants to host a resident-led class, let them. Studio supervisors and all members already have signed liability release forms on file. Each studio has security cameras. The studios sit inside a locked, gated community with security patrols, and Clubhouse 4 has a trained lifeguard on duty just a few feet away. Please grant the club's permission to stay open until the clubhouse actually closes. Currently, it closes at 10 p.m. If a club wants to close early, this is fine. But if they have a supervisor willing to stay, let them stay open. Clubs are not asking for a one-size-fits-all solution, and they do not believe GRF should keep taking that approach. There is nothing dangerous about a senior working with clay in the evening. It is far safer than serving residents alcohol at dances or letting them run alone on a treadmill in Clubhouse 5. We have yachting, horseback riding, archery, and rod and gun clubs all operating unsupervised, telling the clay clubs they must start closing at 3:30 p.m. because no main supervisors in the office is unreasonable, especially since that one supervisor is rarely in the studios and their office is closed for staff meetings and lunch. Second, please allow qualified resident experts to serve as voting committee members, not merely as advisors. Most residents find it unreasonable that an experienced horticulturalist, for example, cannot vote on a committee unless elected to an HOA board first. We have 18,000 residents with a tremendous range of knowledge and experience. We have run some polls and interviewed people, and the vast majority of residents believe that HOA board members should focus on running the mutuals efficiently, serving on GRF, and overseeing VMS, while resident experts should serve on the committees. HOA board members should be allowed to sit on committees, hold the chair and vice chair positions, but residents want more of a voice into their community. We voted to end our
Michaela,
Yes.
this email is pretty long. I think
It's almost done. I'm on the last paragraph.
Yeah, we should time them so that, because we are
It's
timing.
within, but it's within the 3-minute range.
Is it?
Yes.
I doubt it, but it's okay. It's okay. You be talking.
HOA board members should be allowed to sit on committees. Oh, we voted to end our contract with PCM and manage our own VMS because we believe residents should have more say over things that affect them most. So why not trust resident experts to help run the committees? Many residents want a dog park inside Laguna Woods Village. It would help seniors socialize, stay active, and keep themselves and their pets healthy and safe. The city's dog park is outside our gates and does not offer the same chance for resident-only training classes, socialization, parties, and special events. It also has no restroom and no village security nearby if a senior falls or needs help. Many residents are ready to help plan, raise money, and manage a village dog park if GRF can identify a suitable location. That is all from this member. And then the final one is from Patty Mandel. And they said, thank you for the opportunity to speak, even though I'm unable to attend for health reasons. Firstly, I do love Laguna Woods overall, but there are some issues, and I have felt this way for almost 6 years I've lived here. The following issues deeply concern me. One, the hours that the studios are open are too short. There are times the Emirates is there and the day is cut way too short. It is unfair and unethical that the boards are cutting back services as they are raising the HOA for every single thing. The studios should be open until the time in the evening that the members agree to, and it should be 7 days a week. On weekends, the gym hours are cut short, and save a few of our dollars and cut our weekend services and our evenings during the week. This is not acceptable. 2, I myself really miss all the pools being available. I dislike pool 4, and that is the only pool open late. I live near and enjoy pool 1. Pool 5 is now open later, but not as late as pool 4. Also, and more importantly, you change the hours after Labor Day. I grew up in New York where summer activities end after Labor Day. This is California with beautiful weather, and all of our pools that you advertise we have should be open and stay open late after Labor Day. Last year I was working at Hogue Newport. I am a registered nurse and would love to run for jacuzzi after work, and pool 1 was closed. This is not New York or Alaska. It is California and should be open year-round in the evening for everyone. 3, I think committees must be formed made up of residents to discuss, research, and share with residents upcoming major projects like Ting. There is not one person I have spoken to that is happy about Ting. I was first told they would be back to hook up TV, and now you have made it self-installation. This is not right. We mostly all will end up paying one of your ambassadors to hook us up. This is wrong. We didn't even want it, and we're being given no choice. A committee should have been formed to discuss Ting as a possibility. HOA and all the boards are overstepping by not even considering what the residents want. Please start committees of residents, and we should be allowed to vote. And please provide installation for people who need assistance, as this is a senior community. Thank you for your time and consideration. And that is all for open forum.
Thank you.
Okay.
May I request you that you put a copy of this email at least in our mailboxes so we can review it and respond if necessary?
What I wanted,
Oh,
all 4 of them,
yes.
please.
Yeah. Yes, Martin.
I don't know about anybody else, but I kind of believe that there needs to be some kind of adjustments made to the audio distribution to the sound system in this room. All I'm hearing is there's no high frequency response. All I hear is people talking through a tunnel. Maybe it's my hearing. I don't know. I just think there needs to be some adjustments.
We can pass that message down to our IT department.
Okay, if that's, but I'm just letting you know, Sean.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we want to respond to the speakers.
Yeah, I would, and specifically to a couple of them. One, I do have a response for Ms. Labar. We understand that you are seeking information in advance of an event that will provide and we will provide an update once the review is complete. Your request does remain under review and including the measures that may be appropriate while the review is pending. Thank you for your patience while we determine if any further accommodation is possible. You're
What was
welcome.
the other one?
To Gail Ashbrook, regarding it's not the tennis tournament policy, it's tournament policy. And in answer to your questions, I would say if you made an appointment with Allison in the Recreation Department, she could probably answer each one of these inquiries for you. But I'm going to say that the reason the pricing policy isn't attached is because it changes, and we want the policy to be just a general policy, so we're not going to put any specific, pricing information there. You would have to inquire because it does change yearly. And that was it.
Well, I would like to thank Chris Collins, Juanita Skillman, and Diane Phelps. The three of you usually come with so much good information and all the good work that you do for our community and the village. So thank you very much from me as well as from the entire board, and we truly appreciate whatever you do. Thank you. Is there anybody else on the board who would like to?
Just Marie Collins, I like to respond to her, the security issues and some of the legal issues relating the security issues, then we will work on it in our committee. And anything regarding the safety, again, we will consider and then work on it. Thank you.
Who was the gentleman who was talking about the fire truck and the speed bumps?
Pete Cold.
Pete Cold. Thank you, Pete. Appreciate you. I would really like that photograph. If you could forward it to the staff, I would like to have it so that we can use it in our future endeavors for creating speed bumps. Okay. Anybody over here have any comments? And thanks.
I would like to provide one further update. I knew there was something else. To Amelia Morris regarding extended Clubhouse 4 workshop hours. I have asked the Recreation Department to take a look at doing so and the financial impact of that. So that is currently under advisement right now. When that information is available, we'll bring it to CAC and we'll take a look at it, and we'll go from there. So it's not fallen on deaf ears to anyone who is questioning that. But we are also in the process of putting together a art advisory group, which might be a good place for that to start as well. And regarding voting advisors or voting members who are not GRF or United or Third Board members, that is a bylaw change. And if that is what wants to be pursued, that is a matter that's larger than just asking for it. And that is, and we've had that discussion. Regarding the dog park, yes, there is a dog park over on Ridge Route. And we are working with the city to see if we can open up a smaller or more nervous dog, that is the term, area within that dog park. In addition, we are also looking at the possibility of having the city provide buses to take our residents over to said dog park. So we are working, but as someone mentioned earlier, things take time. The wheels of progress move slowly. But we do listen and we do hear you. Thank you.
Okay. So we are now at the consent calendar.
Can I ask a question
No, we're done. We're
Who is that?
we're done.
This is not a back and forth, please. Thank you. So we are now at the consent calendar, and I ask for a call to approve the consent calendar.
Yvonne.
Yes. Thank you. Second, okay. So we, if there is no objection, then the consent calendar is approved with the amendments that we had made earlier. Okay. The next item is number 11, unfinished business. Disciplinary update report. Is there anybody here to give us a report?
Is Miss Francis here?
Oh, yes.
Francis is here. Woohoo.
Hi, Francis.
Hi, good morning. So before you is the disciplinary update report, is agenda item 11A. The breakdown or the table that's before you is the breakdown of the April to June cases. Because of the timing, we were not able to include your July cases. We started the month with 62 cases and ended the month with 53 cases, so almost every category went down. That is not the case for July. So in July, you'll actually see a large increase in some specific areas. But that concludes my report, short and sweet. So I'm available if the board has any questions.
Does anybody have any questions of Francis regarding the report? Thank you, Francis. as
You're
always.
welcome, my pleasure.
Oh, wait a minute. Yvonne had one.
The one thing that I brought to your attention about the water,
Yes. We're looking into it, we're investigating, and we are working with security on that matter. So I could give you a much more specific rundown next week at our hearings committee.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Francis, as always. Moving on to item 11B, entertain a motion to approve the schedule of traffic monetary policies. This was under 28-day notification as of our July meeting and is now up for voting. I will have our secretary read the resolution-ish. Oh, it's short, okay. Item 11B.
Traffic monetary.
Yes.
Resolution, turn the microphone on, okay. Resolution 90-26-XX, the schedule of traffic monetary penalties, whereas at the April 15th, 2026 Traffic Hearing Committee meeting, the committee approved the recommendation of the proposed schedule of traffic monetary penalties to increase the penalties for speeding. I'll skip down, and now therefore be it resolved that on August 4th, 2026, the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby approves the revised schedule of traffic monetary penalties and presented, and further resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized to carry out this resolution as written.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to bring this to the floor? John? John Cornell, and Mickey is going to second. All right, the motion is on the floor for discussion. Anybody? Discussion? No discussion? Is there, okay, so one more thing. Is there any discussion from the members, from the board members before we move on to member comments? No? No? Okay, member comments, please.
Yes, there is that member comment that was sent in via email, so I'll read it now, from Teresa Frost. And they stated, I strongly support the increased speeding penalties, but I am concerned that the proposed schedule begins only at 6 miles per hour over the limit on our narrow streets where older and mobility impaired residents may need extra time to enter or exit parked cars. Nearly 30 miles per hour is simply too fast. I regularly drive a little below the posted limit and am often tailgated. Drivers also routinely disregard the 15 mile per hour curve on Avenida Castilla, where limited visibility in 2 connecting cul-de-sacs create a particular hazard. I've also seen village buses and staff vehicles traveling at speeds that appear to approach 30 miles per hour. GRF's own drivers should model the cautious driving expected from everyone else. I have always tried to drive through the village as though every person I pass is someone I care about, a parent, sibling, friend, or neighbor. We are all aging here together, and everyone deserves the time, space, consideration, and respect needed to move safely through their own community. Please consider adding a 2 to 5 mile per hour over penalty category. If enforcement cannot reasonably begin below 6 miles per hour over, I believe the limit on our street should be lowered from 25 to 20 miles per hour. Additional traffic calming measures should also be considered at known problem locations. Posted limits should be treated as maximums, not as starting points to which drivers routinely add another 5 miles per hour. Thank you. And that is all.
Thank you. Thank you, Teresa. And with that, we will call for the vote.
Yes.
All in favor of the resolution as...
Look on the screen.
Oh, that's right. We're moving faster than Michaela can.
There we go.
Kush is absent. Would you like to vote, Kush? We really don't need it, but go ahead anyway.
Just say yes. You're voting on the traffic monitoring penalty.
I see a lot of greens, so just say yes.
Well, you can say yes yourself.
I did.
All right. With that, the motion passes. We have increased the traffic monetary penalties for speeding.
Okay.
So we're moving on now to 12A.
Please, go ahead. I'll be with you in a
Okay,
second.
he'll catch up. All right, we have removed item 11C from today's agenda, so we're moving on to item 12A. Entertain a motion to approve the disaster prepare.
Director, so I think we're going to do the GRF committee assignments that was moved from the consent calendar.
Oh, I wasn't here when that happened, sorry.
Can we,
So yes, that'll be, that's going to be right now.
Okay.
can we do it later?
Well, no,
at
'cause-
Well,
another-
you requested it for the right now.
Okay.
So shall we entertain a motion to approve the updated GRF committee assignments then?
We need to make the changes.
Okay, well, we have to get it on the
Yeah,
floor first.
so on, okay. Put it on the,
Do I have a motion
okay.
to approve the updated GRF committee assignments?
Carmen and I second. On disaster preparedness, a small change, it's more like a error change. Instead of calling SK Park a co-chair, we call him the chair. And then who is our second? John Kelsall is the, we don't need to call him a vice chair or anything. Correct?
I mean, regular committees, we don't appoint
We
the
don't
vice
need to
chair.
call vice chair,
No.
so he's just a regular committee
Right.
member.
Sorry, John, you just got demoted. What about Anthony Liberatore as co-chair?
Anthony is from United, so we can't make any change for him.
But is there a position of co-chair?
No, he's not, there's no co-chair.
No, okay.
There are no
So
co-chairs.
we'll remove,
Okay. So that is the change we need to make.
okay.
And
I'm having a hard time hearing over here.
oh, I'm sorry, I will bring this closer. All right, so that's what I wanted to make a change, and
This is
Okay, so I like to move
So what was the last change?
we are on 10B.
12B?
10,
10B.
yeah,
We
10B.
moved it from
These
the
are
consent
committee,
calendar to now an active item.
Page 306, 10B.
You and I missed that. He's still on Indonesia
okay.
time.
So the other thing that needs to get updated here
Just chair.
is on the next page, page 4 of 6, is the Energy Ad Hoc Committee is now going to be called the Energy Committee.
We haven't technically voted on that yet.
Will
But-
you say that again?
That's why I wanted to do this after the meeting was the very last thing, unfinished business.
So procedurally, we would have updated this at the next agenda.
Yes.
So this, we're just.
We don't need to do that?
Right.
Okay, so we won't do it now, we'll do it later then.
We'll do it later. Okay,
Okay.
later.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion
Please
with the
do.
amendment. SK Park as a chair, and then rest of them are not, regular members, and to
Yeah.
approve it.
Okay. So if there's no objection, then it is, we approve it and then we make the necessary changes at the agenda prep.
Yes, next time.
Okay. All righty. Thank you. So what number are we on now?
12A.
Okay. All right.
12A.
12A. Why is 12B after that? This is about the Disaster Preparedness Committee Charter.
Isn't there a charter here?
There is.
Is there a charter here?
Keep
I don't
going.
see it.
It's on the
You're
back.
11B, go to 12A.
12A,
Page 5 of 8.
correct. So,
Shall I read that?
do you want to read that?
I'll read that. Resolution 90-26-XX, Disaster Preparedness Committee Charter. And I'll just read the first paragraph. Whereas the purpose of the Disaster Preparedness Committee is to promote disaster preparedness and community resilience by serving as the board's advisory body on emergency preparedness matters, supporting resident education, volunteer coordination, emergency planning, and collaboration with public safety and agencies. I'll skip down to whereas on July 28, 2026, the Disaster Preparedness Committee approved staff's proposed charter to be presented to the Board of Directors. Now therefore be it resolved August 4th, 2026, that the Board of Directors of the Golden Rain Foundation of Laguna Woods hereby establishes the Disaster Preparedness Committee and as a standing advisory committee of the board. And resolve further that the officers and agents of the Golden Rain Foundation are hereby authorized and directed to carry out the provisions of this resolution.
I move that we accept the resolution as written.
I second it.
Lovely. Anybody
I thought we were going to put it on
on
he
the?
made a motion, and we usually use the screen to vote.
We haven't voted yet.
We haven't
Been
voted.
voted yet.
We just
Okay.
called for a vote. Okay. This is item 10A.
No.
Are we voting online?
No. 12A.
12A.
Actually, it's 12B.
B.
B is in bold.
Disaster preparedness.
Yeah.
It's 12A.
Entertain a motion. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong one. 12A.
Yeah, I'm reading
Excuse
on
me.
the page.
I got it.
He's moving on to energy.
Yeah.
Are we
Caffeine.
voting online or verbally?
Do we have any discussion?
Usually you guys have a discussion.
Usually.
I asked, nobody said a word.
You did not. Ask for discussion.
Anybody, discussion?
Nope. Nothing here.
Ready to vote?
Yes.
Ready to vote.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
We're done? Okay, so on a side note, I asked the security staff that we would like to have a meeting set up with the fire department, the sheriff's department, the security, and some of our board members to discuss further in case of an emergency, what will we do? What will happen? And how will the response be? And stuff like that. So I would request that this be followed up and we set up a time and date for that.
Director Nunez is in the audience, and he will do that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I have my reading glasses, so I can't see very far. All right. Thank you, Chief, if you're going to do that.
Is this going to be directed by the Disaster Preparedness Committee or by GRF, or what's the?
We still don't have we're still putting it together, but the security department will set it up. So it doesn't matter which department, which committee, but at least we all need to be in it so we understand what's going on. We may even have to reserve a bigger room so some of the members of the committee can be present and they understand what their responsibility and what they're going to do and stuff like that.
Yeah, just for the edification for the board members here, we regularly meet with the Orange County Fire Authority and the Orange County Sheriff's Department. I've had several tabletop exercises with them. We plan on having a few more in the future. But one of the things that President Bahada had requested is to have a kind of, I wouldn't say it was necessarily a formal meeting, but an informal meeting that we were to gather and then advance through the disaster preparedness committee, and so that we can all be playing off the same page. And I said that would be perfectly fine. We could arrange to have the same members that you saw before you earlier attend that meeting, and I talked to them back there prior to them leaving, and they acknowledged that they would like to show up to that meeting as well as the SCAC meeting regarding their gate proposal. And so we'll go ahead and work on all of those meetings and get everybody on the same page.
Thank you. One sec. Sure, I'll acknowledge you 1 second. My concern is that in case there is an emergency in the middle of the night when 99% of the staff is off the village, what will happen?
Right.
Who will be here? I know I spoke to one of your security people and says we have 4 or 6 people in the night. And how will we attend to that emergency?
Right.
So that is the thought that brought this up. Okay? So you live far away.
Yeah, we understand that concern. It's the way we handle all emergencies, whether they're landscape maintenance, building maintenance, or just disasters. We have a 24/7 dispatch, 24/7 security who give notifications. Not only do they respond, but if they need assistance, they actually request those through our dispatch for Orange County Fire, Orange County Sheriff's, as well as the senior management and directors that work in whatever the discipline is. So that's how that's done.
We can discuss all that in that meeting.
Right.
This was the only reason why it struck me that we need to do something about it. So thank you. Yes, Martin.
I think we might be getting a little ahead of ourselves, that there's emergency preparedness, and then there's the emergency action plan. And I think you're looking more for like what does emergency action plan, which is totally different than emergency preparedness.
It's part of emergency preparedness.
But I'm just saying that it needs to be differentiated because the committee is focused on the preparedness. Go ahead.
I caution that this isn't on the agenda.
Yep.
You have
Yes,
a full
I was
agenda
gonna say.
this morning.
Right.
So
That's fine. I just
let's move
wanted
on,
to-
please.
Yes.
So
Okay.
this discussion has been moved to committee, and the committee that it's being moved to is SK Parks.
Correct.
Disaster Preparedness. You
Yeah,
are in
excellent.
charge of that, all right?
Excellent.
Yes.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you,
All right.
Chief.
Next item is
12B.
12B, and that's about GRF Energy Committee Charter.
Resolution 90-26-XX. GRF Energy Committee as a standing committee and charter. Whereas the purpose of the Energy Committee is to review and recommend to the board proposed energy-related capital projects designed to reduce energy costs. And now therefore be it resolved on August 4th, 2026, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby establish the Energy Committee as a standing committee of the board and approves its charter as attached to the official minutes. And further, resolve further that the duties and responsibilities of the Energy Ad Hoc Committee created on October 1, 2024 have been completed, and the Ad Hoc Committee is hereby dissolved. And resolved further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution.
Okay. Okay, Mickey moves.
I second it.
Thank you. Any discussion? Yes, sir?
Okay, if we approve this, will this then negate our ability to be able to vote on the 12F, is it, regarding the RFP proposal? We can still vote on that, even though we approve this now?
Yes, you can.
Yes, okay, we just moved it up.
We can vote on it, but the vote is to send it to the committee.
Excuse me? Correct.
Nope, we're getting a strong no from our CEO.
Yeah,
The purchasing policy, section 4, states in part, if new projects are introduced after budget creation, VMS shall request if the corporation desires involvement in the statement of work prior to advertising. And that is what staff is following this morning. Thank you.
Where's Bart? Where's Bart?
Okay, so do we have any more discussion?
No?
Okay, so maybe please.
We have one member comment, Bill Walsh.
Okay, yes, Bill?
Hi, Bill.
Yeah, we're ready for me? Yes, sir.
Come on down.
This is Price is Right.
Okay, I'm not going to butter you up because I already know all the hard work you do, so.
Oh, please butter us up, please.
Or at least you pretend to do, I don't. Oh, right. There's a handout that I gave, and I would like everybody to have it. You don't have to have it immediately, but I would like you to read it. I get emails from State Senator Stephen Choi. Last week, I got an email, and in it, we're listing all the bills that were passed, and the one that struck me was Senate Bill 935. So I'm going to read to you what he said. This bill appeals the January 1st, 2031 sunset date of the design-build project authorization, making design-build a permanent procurement method available to local governments. Studies show that design-build projects cost approximately 6% less and are delivered more than 30% faster than traditional design-build projects. And the Legislative Analyst's Office has found the method to be a valuable contracting option. Okay? Now, design-build. Once I got this, I went out and looked at the Design-Build Institute of America in Western Pacific region. Okay? And I did an AI question. Okay? Question was, would someone from the Design-Build Institute of America, Western Pacific region, come down and talk to an HOA board? The response was yes. Okay? Absolutely. I think it's very important for this board, or actually third board or United board, to understand what design-build is. And so I recommend, and I would really love to see it, and I would love to be invited to a discussion with somebody about design-build from this organization. Because I think we spend a lot of time going with RFPs, we go out and try to find consultants to give us information. And I know from the number of committee meetings and the number of board meetings I've attended for a year since Ting was approved, that people are incredibly concerned and worried about the costs that we're experiencing. And we all know we're experiencing what's happening with inflation. So it's no secret, if we can find a cheaper way to do business, we need to really find out how to do it, okay?
Yep, that's right.
And I would appreciate it if you would consider that. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill.
I think that would have been better for 12F, but that's,
Yeah, Martin.
I'm glad you brought it up.
well, yeah, but
So you may want to take charge of that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We need to vote on this item. I call for the vote. Did my thing go through? Yeah, it went through.
Director Rosa?
Who?
Director Rosa, you need a vote.
I did.
Now, sometimes you gotta do it.
You just have to keep pressing it.
Do you want me to vote for you? Oh, there you go.
There you
Got
go.
it.
Okay, a little more pressure.
Use this. It's called a mouse. That's the limit of my technological education.
Motion passes.
Motion passes. So I think we can move forward now. Yes. So next item is the Energy Committee goals and major tasks.
No,
that's
it's
all.
12C.
12C. Why are my pages all mixed up?
12C. Glasses are off.
I know, that's probably why.
12C.
No. 12C.
12C.
All right, Board of Directors. Proposed Clubhouse 4 artwork display and installation of guidelines and establishment at a creative art advisory group.
Resolution 90-26-XX, proposed Clubhouse 4 artwork display and installation guidelines and establishment of a creative arts advisory group. Whereas the staff recommends the proposed framework and guidelines for the display and installation of artwork within Clubhouse 4, establish a Clubhouse 4 creative arts advisory group to evaluate future art display proposals prior to committee activity review, and the Golden Rain Foundation Board approval, and I'll skip down to the bottom, whereas the establishment of a Clubhouse 4 creative arts accessory group consisting of representatives from multiple Clubhouse 4 studios would serve in an advisory capacity only, reviewing and evaluating art display proposals and providing recommendations to the CAC. Final recommendations regarding artwork displays would continue to be made by the CAC and with the approval authority remaining with the GRF board. And whereas on July 9th, 2026, the Community Activity Committee recommended the approval of the proposed framework and guidelines for the display and installation of a Clubhouse 4 Creative Arts Advisory Group to evaluate prior to the Community Activities Committee review and Golden Rain Foundation Board. Now therefore be it resolved September 1, 2026, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby approves a resolution to approve the proposed framework and guidelines for the display and installation of artwork within Clubhouse 4 and establishment of the Clubhouse 4 Creative Arts Advisory Group to evaluate future art display proposals prior to the Community Activities Committee review and Golden Rain Foundation Board approval, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution.
I move that we accept the proposal as written.
I second it.
Thank you. Okay, any discussion? Yes.
Has there been a possibility of considering substituting the word Clubhouse 4 with Laguna Woods Village?
This is specific, and there.
I'm not proposing to amend.
No.
I'm just asking you
You're
a
asking the
question.
reason. Okay. The reason is because this will specifically address placement, approval and placement issues in and around
Just Clubhouse 4.
Yeah, the Clubhouse 4, which has now become basically, the
Well,
artist
that's the
workshop.
art,
And
yeah, that's the art place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why.
But why not have an art advisory group for other clubhouses and the community center?
And I would like nothing better than that, but we walk before we run. Yes, the short answer is yes, I think we will get there. I would love for us to get there. Speaking for myself, but I hear Yvonne nodding her head as well. But
Okay.
this is specifically for how art is going to be presented at Clubhouse 4 at this point. And then
I
we can
guess as we see
expand
how
it.
that goes, then we can adapt.
So goes.
Okay.
So be it. Anybody else have any comments? Yes, John.
Having been a member of a similar committee for the county of Hernando in Florida and the city of Brooksville, it is a job that is one of the best jobs in the world because you're seeing and you're approving art institutes on we were doing it for buildings everywhere, and it was a great experience.
Okay. Do we have any
Good start.
comments from anybody else?
I want to commend staff. They put this together very quickly, and they did a thorough, comprehensive review, and it was based on other art advisory group templates. And I just want to thank them for really working very, very hard and diligently on this.
Okay, so it brings us to the main question. Shall we vote? Go for it.
Passes
Okay,
unanimous.
Unanimous approval. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
So, I'm
Board.
sorry, we actually have one member comment right now.
Sure.
Okay.
You voted too soon.
No.
Did we vote too soon? Or?
We've already voted, Annie.
I know, but how come
She wants to say something. Come on,
Okay.
say something.
Thank you. Thank you
Please
so
go
much for
ahead.
giving me the opportunity to speak today, because you're asked to approve the formation of this Clubhouse 4 Creative Arts Advisory Committee. As you know, Clubhouse 4 is some of the most talented artists and craftspeople here in the village. As an interest in displaying this artwork continues to grow, it makes sense to have a clear, consistent, and collaborative process for reviewing future proposals. The purpose of this committee is simple. It's not to create more bureaucracy or make decisions that belong to the board. Its purpose is to assist the CAC committee by reviewing these proposals, encouraging thoughtful planning, and making recommendations. Final approval will, of course, be with the CAC committee and the GRF board. As you know, the original proposal includes an 11-page guideline document. Several members of our newly formed working group felt the same goals could be achieved with a much shorter and easier-to-use document, which I've just given to you. For that reason, I provided you with that draft, and it preserves the important principles while making process clearer and more accessible. I've also included some photographs of several projects that demonstrate the type of creativity this committee hopes to encourage. These projects reflect the artistic talent that already exists in this community. I respectfully ask you to support this in establishing this advisory group so that we can continue to build a fair, transparent, and encouraging process that celebrates this creativity in Laguna Woods residents. Clubhouse 4 has always been a place where this creativity flourishes. This advisory group isn't just about reviewing proposals. It's about encouraging resident artists, helping good ideas succeed, and ensuring that the future art projects continue to enrich our community. And I hope you support this, which obviously you have. So anyway, I hope you could take a look at some of those photographs.
You know, I put a lot of time into creating these projects, that a lot of them we're not asking for money, we're just asking for approval to give us a sense of place. I think that's really important to understand at Clubhouse 4. When you walk into that building now, you have no idea what's going on in there. And I would like to try to create that sense of place by some of those photographs that you can see. Any questions?
Well, of course. When's the second totem going up?
Well, I can't get approval for other things. I have 3 totems. We have these other art projects.
Okay, well,
and
I'll see you
I'm
at
waiting
the
for
CAC meeting
We
then.
have things already.
Okay.
You know, I have people from wood shop. I have almost everybody involved in this committee already, except for I think sewing and slip casting. But we will get that all.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
Martin, you have something?
This is a very subjective decisions that get made in these proposals, and we didn't approve this document in the creation of this advisory committee, but no, I'm all for this.
Great.
You know,
It is subjective.
that's what I say.
and-
I want to see it all throughout
Me
the
too.
village.
And you know, I got to tell you, it's not like we have 100 artists asking for this permission. We have to go out and we have to get these people and encourage them to do these kind of projects.
Once something goes up, though, it stays
We have
up.
that one totem is up. If you can see in the pictures, we've
yeah.
done one. You should come see it. Everybody loves it. It makes you smile and it makes people talk about things. Great.
Jeannie, you have something to say?
Okay, thank you all
No,
so
but
much.
It would be a rotating, it would be a rotating
Anybody else?
display.
Next item.
Okay. John?
How is the advisory committee going to be established? Who is determining that?
According to the guidelines that was just created, it would be the presidents of all of the different board, clubs that are housed at.
I'm sorry, the words, the presidents of all those clubs, is really not going to happen. As some of you know who've been presidents of clubs, you have so much to do already. I think just representatives from each studio would be enough, because anybody who's been a president of a club, I was talking to someone the other day, she spends 2 days a week on that. We're not asking them to do more. Thank you.
Okay, and Allison wants to speak.
Yeah, just to clarify, we want this to be an inclusive group, not just one person making the decisions. So we would like to have a CAC committee member on it. We'd also like to have the Clubhouse 4 supervisor, and 1 to 2 representatives from each studio would be ideal, as well as some at-large members that may be at the clubhouse that aren't associated with some of those groups. So it makes it a little more inclusive, a little more subjective, I guess, to more opinions than just one.
Thank you, Alison.
The committee has
Actually,
not
I
been
was getting a
established
little
yet.
shivers before you spoke.
I'm sorry?
Because how is this going to happen?
Excuse me?
I
Sorry?
said thank you for whatever you said.
Oh.
Because
It was
before
really
you said
good.
it, I was getting the shivers to understand how is this going to work.
So our Clubhouse 4 supervisor will make contact with the groups and just start asking people who might be interested. Obviously, Ms. Zipkin is one of those invested stakeholders of the clubhouse. So our Clubhouse supervisor will do some homework and put an appropriate committee together to start.
Very good. Thank you. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you, Annie. Appreciate all the hard work you put in it. Next item is the donation of the concrete blocks for the garden center 1 giving garden. Wow, we're having a giving garden.
Resolution 90-26-XX, donation of concrete blocks for the Garden Center 1. Whereas a resident requests to donate approximately 30 concrete wall blocks for the Garden Center 1 Giving Garden. And we'll skip down to, whereas on July 9, 2026, the Community Activities Committee recommended the approval of this donation and directed staff to forward the request to GRF Board for the next meeting. Now, therefore, be it resolved August 4th, 2026, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts the resident request to donate approximately 30 concrete wall blocks for the Garden Center 1 Giving, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized to carry out this resolution as written.
Thank you. Thank you. Here we have a first and a second.
I'm sorry, who seconded?
John Cornell. Is there any discussion?
Thank
Anybody?
you.
Thank you.
Discussion is only thank you.
That's it.
Pretty much all we need.
That's all we need.
Okay, then let's vote. All right.
Missing, it's unanimous.
Okay, thank you. C and D.
Motion passes.
E, yeah. Motion passes, and we
Oh, the next is a discussion.
going next to number E, and that is the assessment of the extra.
No,
Huh?
Yes.
this,
Number
E.
E, right?
Uh-huh.
So
Well, I think Dick is going to do it.
say it again.
It's 12E?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it says assessment of external promotional opportunity for Laguna Woods Village. What is that?
It's a discussion.
Okay. So how do we?
I don't know either. Who's going to speak on it?
Well, I'm sure Dick Rader will. Or maybe Elise.
Who's up to bat? Come to the
Did I
microphone.
say that out loud?
Dick, are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Who is talking about this? Anybody?
I thought Elise was doing a presentation.
Elise.
Elise.
Elise would like to speak.
Hi, Elise.
Oh, my goodness, we don't get to see you all the time. Well, here I am. There you are.
Okay, so, good afternoon, everyone. At the June agenda prep meeting, the board requested that staff evaluate opportunities to further promote Laguna Woods Village to prospective residents and the general public. Hey, Paul, you have my... No, it's not popping up. Just something so that everybody can follow along with the discussion. Perfect, thank you. So communications reviewed the existing public-facing communications platforms. We benchmarked comparable communities, Seal Beach and Rossmore. And we looked at potential opportunities for board consideration beyond what currently exists. And those initiatives would require varying levels of staff resources. Next slide, please, Paul. Oh, yes. So the three things that we found, the village already maintains a comprehensive public-facing communications program. We have the website, which has a 17-minute community tour video right on the landing page. We have social media. We do media relations with the Globe on a weekly basis. We have all kinds of printed materials, village television, and we do communications with the real estate community on a monthly basis. The benchmark communities that we looked at, they use all of the same communications tools, and there were no significant gaps identified between what they may be doing and what we're doing. And any additional promotion that we may want to engage in, that would require board direction, funding, and possibly staff resources, but that depends on any decisions made. Next slide, please. So what is Rossmore and Seal Beach doing that we're not? They utilize all the same tools, including comprehensive websites, social media, media relations, video content, and public information resources. So again, we didn't identify anything significant that would explain any differences in awareness. Next slide, please. Should we advertise? Well, that is certainly a policy option for the board to consider. Staff included paid marketing as one potential opportunity because it does represent an expansion beyond what we currently do. It would, however, require dedicated funding and ongoing management, and I'm sure, as you all know, advertising is not cheap. Next slide. What about residents writing articles on their own to promote the village? Well, residents are certainly free to write about their experiences. However, if articles are being developed or distributed on behalf of the village as part of an organized promotional effort, they would need editorial review to ensure factual accuracy, consistency, appropriate messaging, and protection of the village brand. That oversight represents staff commitment that should be considered, and existing staff could do that, but it would depend on the volume and the frequency of such articles. A small number of submissions could likely be accommodated, but anything beyond that, we would have to reevaluate that. And I'd like to add, as an aside, in my 25 years of experience in magazine publishing, that unsolicited manuscript acceptance rates are abysmally low. Editorial boards, editorial teams decide long in advance what they're going to schedule in their publications. I would say, in my experience, maybe 1 in 50 was accepted, and that 1 in 50 was an expert. Not only were they a technical expert, but they were an exceptional writer. And this was at, niche, regional, West Coast publishing, hobby publishing, not like your top tier New York City kind of publishing. So it's a very difficult venture. It's not impossible, but it is hard. So what does staff recommend? Basically, we recommend continuing to build upon our existing communications program rather than launch a significant new marketing initiative. As I mentioned, our benchmarking found that the village already uses many of the same public-facing communications tools used by comparable communities, and if the board wishes to expand that, I would recommend doing so incrementally, evaluating the resources required and the anticipated benefits before committing to something larger. One thing I wanted to add is if folks are afraid that we don't exist, when I entered the search term senior communities in Southern California into my little search bar on Google or Firefox or what have you, 55places.com always comes up first, but they're a paid sponsor. They pay to be there. Number 2 is Laguna Woods Village. Number 3 is Del Webb. When I entered the search term 55 plus communities, 55 Places is first, Shea Homes is second, Del Webb is third, Laguna Woods Village is fourth. A search term of just the blanket senior communities, sponsored results, paid results, and then Laguna Woods Village is the number 1 search result that shows up for all of those different search terms. And I'll add that Seal Beach and Rossmore and the villages, I went 3 pages deep into search results and they could not be found. So we are definitely out there and people are aware of us. So that's the research that I did, that staff did, and we recommend just to stay the course, keep doing what we're doing, unless the board would like to pursue other additional opportunities.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. Whenever I go out onto Facebook and it's like, here's the top 10 senior communities, right? And I often wonder, are people paying them to be one of the top 10?
Absolutely.
That was a, because I'm sure they are. So what about that? What about being on those types of links? Yeah, links. And I don't know how much money is a lot of money. That's why I'm asking.
Somebody's phone is ringing. Please turn it off.
I would have to look into what.
But you know what I'm talking about,
Yes, I
right?
do.
They
Yeah.
appear to be editorial, but we all know that they're being fed.
Like
So-
the supplement to the Orange County Register, like OC's Best, whatever, it's a thick magazine
There
that
you go.
comes out. Those are all paid. If you notice, all of the companies that are listed as, go here, eat this, do that, there's
They
an
all pay to
ad,
be there.
at least one ad that corresponds with that company. So it's all paid. It's all paid. Not that we couldn't do that.
Well, but I guess the question I'm asking you is it something that, in your professional opinion, you would suggest that we try, or that would add a new many eyes onto us?
In my opinion, I think Laguna Woods Village is very well known in the Southern California area, if not the state. So doing something like that that's regionally based, I don't think that would be the best use of dollars, personally.
Okay, thank you.
But
Yes.
just information per se, can you kind of collect some of the data, how much it costs? And we could probably consider, I got your point. It might not be worthy enough. However, as a board members, probably we need to know the, approximate expenses. It depends on, but the best result companies, maybe we could have some of the ideas.
I can definitely come up with some numbers on that for you.
Thank you. Basically, is the bang worth the buck? Is 25 words or less?
Yes, Gordon.
Yeah. I don't envy your position.
I believe this is
Like
wrong.
with what, it can't be overstated as to how social media has brought out so many different opinions about so many different things, and we're right in the middle of it now, especially with this broadband project. I know that we are now, we've found out that, Ting is like, or Laguna Woods Village is Ting's biggest customer with respect to a private distribution network, one of the largest in the country now. We will be DirecTV's largest customer, bulk customer, after this settles. So we're going to be making headlines in respect to that. So, but we know that we get a lot of comments and weird information from residents, like what to do about this or that regarding what's coming forth. So accuracy and is so important in going forth.
Yep. I agree.
Yvonne, you had something? Carmen?
Thank you for everything you do. I know you're juggling 25 different methods of communication. But, so, I think everyone needs to understand how Laguna Woods Village name gets moved up that ladder. So when you have the 55 plus that paid for that large ad, and the second one paid for that large ad, and then here's Laguna Woods Village, that we don't pay for that ad.
Right, it's all
So we're
organic.
moved up the ladder, all the time being moved up. The interesting thing with what Martin is bringing up is that with the Ting and the DirecTV, two large companies, now we as the village can capitalize on the search engine. So it's, now my question is,
Great minds.
does the search engine optimization that we're using now, are we doing the work? And so your department
Yes.
is placing all of those search engine words
Yes.
in there to do that. And that's not costing us anything.
No.
That's phenomenal for what you're doing. So I really appreciate that. So I think that the emphasis should be on search engine optimization. Use the best available free, no-cost advertising versus having to pay for that. And I can tell you right now, the cost to get that first placement is, you can do the research on it, but it'll be astronomical. Thank you.
Yes, John and John.
Which John?
John 1, John 2.
John
You
number
are
two?
number one.
John number 2 or John number 1?
Pick one.
Yourself.
Two, okay.
A and B.
First of all, thank you so much. I agree with what Carmen has said for all that you're doing. It's obviously a phenomenal job. And obviously, we appreciate your expertise and experience. Question I have, how many, I know we're selling about 60 manners per month approximately, give or take, a few on either side. How many manners do we have that are not for sale and not occupied? So the question comes back to how important it is that we bring people into the village, or are we doing a good job with what you already have done? And the things that are coming up is sufficient to keep us, well, I'm going to say, fully occupied.
It's a difficult
That
question.
would-
I know it's a difficult question.
That would be a question for someone more like a community services, not
Okay.
for me, sorry.
But the point is, we don't have a lot of manors that are sitting, not either being occupied or on for sale, correct? I mean, is that a fair statement?
I won't make that comment, no.
We're not making anything. We're not manufacturing anything.
No.
So the resales are being conducted by owners
Right.
that are not related to the trust. I mean, other than they reside in the trust. So they can buy and sell all they want. We have no control over that.
I totally
And we
understand that.
get the trust fee, we get the transfer fee once a
Yes.
project is sold
Yes.
and converted.
What I'm kind of looking at is what's the vacancy rate? I mean, is it?
It doesn't matter to us.
doesn't matter.
Because if it's vacant, means it's for sale.
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
They're in probate, the family doesn't want to do move with them,
But
they don't know what to do
in
with them.
any case, whoever owns it still pays the HOA dues.
True.
So that keeps happening.
Right.
So out of the 12,736 manors that we have, I'm sure almost 99.9% pay the HOA dues. And that answer can come from Shawan's office. I cannot tell you for sure.
We don't have that many in foreclosure because we see them every month when that happens, right? Yeah.
Someone is paying those
Yeah.
assessments,
Correct.
even if it's vacant.
That is moot in terms of an untapped resource.
This
Well,
whole
vacancy
thing
is what I was worried
came,
about.
this topic came up only because the resales were not happening fast enough, and our $10,000 that is being paid for all the sales was kind of stagnated because of that. And that's why this topic came up. It did not come up of any other reason.
Okay, forget everything else I said. Thank you for doing a wonderful job.
Elise,
Okay.
you do a phenomenal job.
John.
Search engines. How prevalent are we on search engines?
Just said it.
She just told us.
Earlier, I mentioned that when I enter 3 different types of search words, let's see, for senior communities in Southern California, 55places.com, Laguna Woods Village, number 2, but 55places.com pays to be in that first. So our arrival at that number 2 spot is organic. We don't pay for that. That's because we built that into our website. It's part of our search engine optimization.
Okay, is that when I was in Florida on the board, we were getting inundated with this, I believe it was a company in Chicago, 55 and over residences.
55 places?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
.com.
okay,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
the same thing. Yeah.
All right. I think we need to move on. Yes, sir.
We actually have 2 member comments before we can move on, if you don't mind.
From
They've been
the-
waiting for a while.
From the audience?
Yes.
Okay.
First person is Phyllis Mitchell.
Thank you, Elise. I appreciate everything you do for us.
Yes, thank you very much.
Hello.
Hi, Phyllis.
I have a pretty simple question. So it says in the staff report that this conversation came up because of the decline in the trust facilities fee from 2025 to 2026, which of course is the same as sales. So my question is there an expectation that sales will continuously stay the same or increase in comparison to 2025 every year. So the question is this really even an issue? And if you are expecting that sales are going to continuously stay the same year to year or increase, why are you picking 2025 to compare it to? And have you gone back maybe over the last 5 or 10 years to see if there are peaks and valleys when it comes to how fast or slow units are selling in this community? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody want to respond to that?
I don't have the answer.
Huh? Okay. Yes, Martin?
There's more sales, more transfer fees.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say.
So, anyway.
Next speaker is Dick Rader.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
The marketing ideas that are presently that presently Elise is doing are great. However, if I heard her correctly, she said, we're doing so great, let's continue with what we're doing. Why would we not consider some ideas that will supplement those activities, will not cost, or I'll put it this way, minimal or no money? You just heard about the proposal, oh, we could spend money. No, minimal or no money, minimal board or BMS time, and will give you greater awareness. She said we're well known in Southern California, but we have a large state. What about the rest of it? What about the rest of the country? And she says we advertise in local media, or we submit articles to local media. That's all great. But what was just brought up, our housing market now is not very good, but it will strengthen. However, we cannot predict when the next downturn will occur. That is why it's important to have an ongoing marketing all the time. But some of the new proposals, which I just said, don't cost, no time on the board, will expand, help to expand the pool of potential buyers, because we could get them to look at the website. We can motivate them. The idea that I initially proposed to you was the low-hanging fruit. And I even said, we don't know how successful it will be, but why not try? It's free. And what I said was, I proposed the following. I said, the suggestion was to have a committee of residents do all the work, because that doesn't take your time. And it would require anything they came up with. They were going to submit some articles to senior publications, some of which will accept outside submissions, and if they accept it, they publish at no cost, free. It was said, well, low submission rate. Well, if you don't try, it won't happen. But you didn't get to see the sample article that was produced and how it may get in. But we don't have time today to discuss all these things. The proposals that you have not heard, you only heard one. There are several. One will give you national awareness, free. One will give you free advertising year-round, free. I can't present these to you at this time. We don't have time. So, what should we do? I think that it might be helpful if you gave consideration to maybe having a discussion, I don't know, a committee meeting or somewhere. I could come back up to the agenda prep meeting, and I could give you the full presentation. Why not do something that supplements the activities? Why not give us greater awareness? Southern California, yeah, a lot of people know us. But you know what? I'll be done in a second. There are a lot of people who have negative opinions of us. that can all be combated with information and some of the things that could be done. So I'm just hopeful that, and I don't care, by the way, I don't have an ego. I don't know if you know this. I don't. I don't care if you don't take on these things. But my hope is that you'll at least look at them.
We need to stop for this moment, but we will not forget what you said, and we will look into it and reach out and set up some kind of a cohesive group that will talk more with you and the staff so we can look deeper into it.
Okay, thank you.
I like your idea. Thank you. Yes, John.
No, hold on. And we have Cynthia Rupert, though. Did you want to take one more comment before we move on?
I have just John who wants to respond.
You mentioned that you don't have time to present these different places and things. Can you provide them to our staff so that they can review? Why not?
I prefer that the board and that happen with the board and with media department all together.
We'll set it up. Don't worry. Yeah. Okay, who's next?
We have last one is Cynthia Rupert
Sorry?
on Zoom. Cynthia Rupert on Zoom.
Okay.
I'm a zooming.
Okay.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Good afternoon. Now that it's afternoon. Hello, honorable board members and everyone else in the audience. I wanted to, sorry, I'm driving, so pardon the noise. I just wanted to bring up a couple of other things after Elise made her presentation and comments. I have done the same thing that she has done as far as putting in different options for search engines and different Googles and Bing, all different ones. I don't get the same results that you do, Elise. I do see Laguna Woods Village, but it's usually listed more as an advertisement. It's not listed as one of the places to look at right away, and that concerns me. The second thing is on Yelp. We have a pretty low rating, a 2.8 or something on Yelp, which is very concerning because I know a lot of people use that as a reference point. I'm not exactly sure why it's so low, but I think that maybe investigating a way to increase that or get it up higher so that it's showing a much higher rating would help us. And I understand, I'm trying to throw this out there quickly, I understand that we're popular and people know us here in this area, but even in other parts of California, they've never heard of us. I've talked to people in many different places and people that I know that buy property in different places and they know nothing about us. So as far as right around here, sure, but across the country where someone might want to be moving from the East Coast to the West Coast, there doesn't seem to be a good way to get our name out there or to see it. So I do really think there has got to be a little more investigation into this. I'm high on communication and I really think it's key. And I really do think there's other ways. And if we do have to start meta tags or pay for whatever, I think sometimes it's worth it just to do that. So I just want to throw those things out there that I didn't get the same results. I don't get Laguna Woods Village up as quickly. Yes, 55 plus is an advertisement. That's to help find places and other things. Wellington, all those come way above us as far as on Yelp and things like that. So again, I'm summarizing. Let's do a little more research. Dick, jump in there, whatever you can present. Let's find whatever we can use, and anything that's free is better. So let's find out why Yelp is so low. That is very concerning. I have an idea when she's done. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Yes.
You're welcome.
I have an
Everybody a great
idea,
day.
and it was spawned by something you said. If we are Ting and we are DirecTVs, we are now going to be their #1 customer. Is that, did I hear you correctly?
Yes.
Then why doesn't our media and communications department partner with them and use them, have them use us? It's a win-win if we partner with them.
This is kind of new development, isn't it?
We can discuss that. See
But
what
that's if they're going out and advertising, they can carry us along with it.
All right. We need to. Do we have any other comments on this point? I think we need to move a little faster now.
We have an appointment at 1:30.
Yes. So the next item that we have, are we done with this item or?
I think,
do we
are we going to
We've
invite Dick
beaten it
back?
to death and
Are we going to invite Dick back for a presentation?
maybe one time. Let's talk about it later, Dick, one of these days. Okay? All right. Next is RFP for the design of the new PV solar system with energy, what the hell is happening? Energy storage devices and the maintenance center building D. At the maintenance center building D. Okay. Carmen, do you want to read the?
I shall read
Do
the
you want to
resolution.
wait till after he,
We'll have a question.
Bunny, do you want to have him?
After?
Read the resolution.
Read the resolution first.
The motion to move the design.
So, yeah, standard procedure is to read the resolution first, then you can make your motion.
Right. Request for Resolution 90-26-XX. Request for proposals for the design of new PV solar system with energy storage device at the Maintenance Center Building D. Whereas on June 29, 2026, the GRF Energy Ad Hoc Committee voted unanimously to recommend the Board of Directors approve an RFP for the RFP for the Maintenance Center Building D solar project. And whereas on July 16, 2026, the Board of Directors tabled and referred this matter back to the Ad Hoc Committee for further discussion. And whereas on July 27th, the GRF Energy Ad Hoc Committee passed a motion by a vote of 6-1 to 0 to recommend the Board of Directors authorize staff to release an RFP for the design services only for a solar panel system with energy storage device at Maintenance Center Building D. Now therefore be it resolved, August 4th, 2026, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby authorizes the staff to release an RFP for design services only for the solar panel system with energy storage device at the Maintenance Center Building D, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution.
I make a motion to accept.
Martin, and then second by? John? Okay, Cornell?
Okay, discussion?
Discussion.
Now discussion.
Okay, it's inappropriate to have the board release an RFP. And that's why,
No, it's not.
yes, it is.
We did it for ITAC, we did it for broadband.
You know, I don't know that history. You'd have to show it to me. But what I'm saying is, when we do that, we're bypassing our traditional way that we do business, and that is to have the committee review it, have finance review it, and then bring it to the board, and also have the corporate members be involved in those decisions.
In the RFP?
The RFP has other corporate members as part of the committees, okay?
Right.
So if you want to go this route, try it. But what I'm saying to you, you're taking a risk that it's just going to be lost.
Oh, I'm going even
At
one
the
further.
corporate members.
I'm going even one further. I'm requesting that we amend this
Okay.
resolution.
Okay.
Okay? In the third paragraph, the third sentence, remove the word service only and install the word build.
Okay, but I would amend the
That is,
motion
yes.
and say
I
that
want
we
to move
need-
this to a design-build RFP, not a design services only.
Okay, we can do that, but it still needs to be done at the committee level, not at the board level.
Well, the committee's already done their work on it, and they've taken it to the board. Okay?
No, that was the ad hoc committee.
But last month you said that
On the 27th
ad
of
hoc
the
committees couldn't release an RFP. And so they approved an RFP to be sent to the board. So, now you're saying now that it's a committee, it's got to go back to a board?
It's gonna.
Or back to a committee?
It goes back to committee.
No.
Okay, now let's,
Why are we
Siobhan already said we can vote on this.
what you did when you went to the board was approve the wording that was the intent, to approve the wording. So.
Well, I'm changing it.
Okay, okay, but at that point, the board wasn't gonna go out and send the RFP out to the vendors.
What is your reason for not wanting to go out and get pricing?
I want to go out and get pricing the appropriate way.
Well,
We did go through
We've
this whole
gone
conversation with the whole committee.
Okay.
The committee was
When
sitting
you
here.
changed from an ad hoc committee, so let's go back to procedure.
One
I know
second.
it's
Weren't you
all
sitting over here
confusing.
the other day?
Okay, let me talk. It's very confusing because somehow the prior board said, oh, you can take an ad hoc and you can take it directly to the board. But I have to tell you, there's a lot of people that object to that, and especially your corporate members, because they're not being involved, okay? So, now we become a standing committee. That ad hoc, that standing committee cannot go directly to the board to have it approved so that you miss your committees, your finance committee, your corporate members to bypass that.
No.
It's very complex.
I don't think,
One moment,
your
Bunny.
recommendation has no merit.
1 minute, Bunny. Let me remind you all that on the 27th of July, we were all sitting here, including all the members from the different boards. And if you want, I will name the people who were sitting here. We had an animated conversation with the staff, and the big question was, is this going to cost us money? And it was questioned like 30 different ways, and it was assured that the RFP is not going to cost us money. Hold on, I haven't finished. And at that time, this thing was approved.
What
with
was
all-
approved?
Huh?
What was approved? The wording.
The
The
It
wording.
was approved to send for an RFP.
RFP for design services only, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm going after.
So-
is the
So it still belongs in committee.
So
the committee
board-
approved it. It came to
The
the board.
board
Now
does
today is the
not,
board.
the board does
We can amend
not send
resolutions,
out
can't we?
RFPs.
No, they did for broadband, they did for ITEL.
You know, I don't know that. You'd have to
Well, they
prove that
did.
to me.
Why don't
And so we're gonna do it again with the energy.
So,
I don't
you
know
guys
what
go do what you want, but
What
I'm
are
gonna
we
tell
trying
you,
to
you're
achieve over
taking the
here?
risk. You're taking the risk at this point in time that the corporate members won't approve it because you didn't follow the price.
Please, this place is not for the argument.
I'm trying to state my case that we as a board do better when we follow the proper procedure.
What are we trying to achieve over here? We are just asking that this be approved to ask for an RFP.
That's what I want to do in the proper committee.
So we did ask the committee to do it.
It's already been done.
I don't know what is the
Where,
next.
this says
Can you
you
call
want the board to
somebody?
go out for the RFP. I'm saying the committee should go out for the RFP.
Last week, or last month, you said that the committee was not appropriate to go out to an RFP, that it had to be the board because it was an ad hoc committee.
I never said the board had to do it, and if anybody
Well, you said that
ever
the ad
thought-
hoc committee didn't have the authorization to release an RFP.
Ad hoc.
Please.
Now
Yeah,
we're
that's what,
standing.
yeah.
So now,
See, now we're
There's a
playing games.
difference.
So now
The
what
thing
do
of
we
it is,
do?
there's
We
a lot,
already
there's a time
made-
delay, if I may
call the
talk.
question is what
There's
you
a,
would do.
there's a time restriction here that if we don't get this done by the end of
So-
27, it's not going to be. Now, there might be a certain, party that doesn't want to do this solar,
Okay,
to do renewable energy. And, because
Procedure question.
other means of energy are your bread and butter.
1 second.
okay.
And I'm just saying.
What are you saying?
The procedure.
Okay.
I like previous question. Please.
Mickey's calling the question.
Yes.
That means
Close the debate, please.
debate is over then.
Well, no, two-thirds vote has
Yes.
to.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
the
that
call
was
for-
second.
Yes, I'll second.
Second
Okay.
and third.
Yeah.
This is discussion of the amendment.
No, no, no.
The
Question.
resolution.
She raised the question, so
Yeah.
we're end of discussion. Let's vote.
Okay.
Let's vote.
No,
Can I
is
speak?
the end of the, is this the
Can
end
I
of the discussion?
make a
Yes.
comment?
Yes.
No,
Excuse me, the question on the floor is,
Right.
do we stop debate? We have a
Yes.
first and a second. What
Right.
we need is two-thirds.
Right.
Right.
Keep me honest.
Yes.
We need a two-thirds vote to stop the
Stop the
debate
debate.
on this
Debate, yes.
particular issue.
Yes.
Yes.
The particular issue is
Call for
defined
vote,
as the amendment.
please.
Of
One
the,
time.
The
I don't
particular
know.
issue
Okay,
is
hold on.
Point of order,
defined
I
as
don't
the
know that the
amendment.
amendment made the floor.
So
No, I don't
the
think
motion
so.
right now
Only
is,
got a first and second.
we're voting on Mickey's motion right now.
Mickey made a motion.
Yes.
Yeah,
To
just
stop
disregard
the
what's on your
debate.
screen. You're voting on what Mickey just made right now.
Yes.
Correct.
Call the question.
Okay, to stop the discussion
Just to
on
stop the debate.
Yep.
Just to stop the
on
debate.
the discussion on the amendment.
No,
No.
amendment
That's the
was not on the
discussion.
floor.
There was no amendment.
Amendment has nothing to do with it.
Well, no, we were discussing the amendment
No,
that's been,
No.
that got a first and
no,
second.
there was no motion.
There was no.
For the amendment,
There-
so.
No.
I made the motion to it.
And I don't know that, I don't
Yeah,
know
John,
that
John seconded.
Stop it, guys. Let's start again if you
You've got to
want
start again.
So, when Director Pacella read the resolution, you first made a motion to approve the agenda item, which is this, you never made an amendment initially.
Right.
And then Director Cornell or Kelso seconded
I
it.
made the amendment.
No, there was a discussion later on where you wished to make an amendment, but no one ever seconded it.
I believe,
No, there was no second. There was no second.
I'm still calling for the amendment, I'm still calling for a second.
Okay, we have
We
to
cannot do
finish
that.
the discussion on this one first. Then you can make
What
your
is this
amendment.
one?
As written. Because the motion on the floor is as written
But
for
I've
design services only.
But
And
I've
we-
requested it for it to be amended. So now we have to vote on the amendment first.
You never got a
We
second.
never got the second.
No, second.
So it's not on the floor.
Right.
No, nobody voted.
So
Yes.
the
Second.
motion
That's
on
the
the
procedure.
I
floor.
thought you voted,
So,
seconded it.
Director Rosa, you said you wanted to change design service to design build, but there
Correct.
was no second there.
So the motion
So
on
we
the
have
So
to
you're
follow
not-
the
you're not gonna
corporate
second
secretary.
that?
I could, but it never came up that way. I definitely.
We were
would
in
say-
the discussion mode of the amendment.
The
No.
thing right now is that the discussion be stopped. That was the motion.
That's right.
That is the motion, not the design build or
We
anything like
voted.
that.
We were in the
Yes.
discussion mode of the amendment.
Correct. So the discussion
No.
be stopped. That is the thing. Is
We
that
never-
the-
we
You're
never
voting
got
right
to
now
the
to
amendment.
call the question.
Are we voting on the original resolution?
No, calling the
Just,
question. Close the debate.
Stop discussion.
Close the discussion.
Right.
Okay.
So can you all vote, please?
I'm trying, it's not working.
Just use your finger
There it
multiple
goes.
times.
Okay.
Okay. Pass.
Amendment. Motion passed.
Okay. Motion passed? Okay, so discussion is stopped. So now the next is you make a motion to, what was your motion? To amend?
My motion is to amend the resolution as such that we replace the word service only to build, so that this is a design-build RFP.
Okay. Second. You want a discussion or do you want to vote on it?
Well, if there's no second, it doesn't go any
second.
further.
I did.
Yeah,
I-
there's
he
no
just-
second.
I
See
seconded.
your hand, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Wasn't looking that way.
sorry. So I second Martin's motion.
Okay.
Is there,
Now we have a discussion.
Okay.
And I wish that gentleman who was here previously stayed, because this is where his comment was appropriate.
yes,
So-
this is where it was all
So
about.
could you explain what is the motion exactly? I'm still confused.
The motion is to change the word from design only to design and build.
What paragraph?
No,
is that?
design service only to design-build.
Okay.
Martin, what paragraph?
The third paragraph, third line of the resolution.
Yeah.
The title as well.
To take out the word service only
Yeah.
and install the word build.
You have to go to the.
Even the title, request for proposals for the design of new PV solar system. So you can write over the design and,
/build.
correct. I know it is a difficult
Yeah,
thing.
and,
Sorry
and
about
also,
that.
yeah, the fourth paragraph to change the RFP to show RFP for design build. Take out anywhere where it says service only and replace it with the word build.
Design, build?
What if we
Correct.
use the slash, design
Design
slash
slash build.
Design slash build.
Well, it,
What does
you
that
know,
mean?
online it just says design build.
So I made that change and you
Okay.
write slash build. Okay?
In the third and fourth paragraph.
So we're just replacing any words that says design? Is that what you're stating?
No, we're adding build.
We're taking out service only and adding the word build.
Okay.
In correlation with the new legislation that has come out of Sacramento that the governor has signed.
We have no way.
Okay.
I'm making that.
And
So shall we, is this,
I'm sure there's commentary, I can feel one coming.
Well, what does that mean, then? What does that mean?
Nothing.
it's,
The bill hasn't been passed.
what does what mean?
Just the legislation.
It's not passed?
It's legislation.
No, the governor has signed it.
Design
It's okay.
Should be designed dash build. That's common in the common vernacular.
You could, use that. Does everybody understand?
Yes.
I understand.
Okay.
Well, okay, does
Okay.
everybody understand?
Okay. So can you proceed? There is a motion to amend and
Yeah.
a second. So,
correct.
and
I'm
discussion.
waiting for you guys.
Discussion. I would like to see our staff, I would like to hear their position on moving from a design only to a design and build.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Staff here?
Bart's been sitting there so patiently.
Okay. Bart is so tiny, he's hiding.
Thank you, Mr. President, Board. Changing from a traditional design-only RFP to a design-build, it will require that the terms be defined more clearly so that it follows proper guidelines for proper comparison of a contractor that can provide the services that are required. But I think that amending the resolution to refer to design-build, and may I suggest that the third paragraph be left as is, since that is a motion that was made by the prior committee, and only change the fourth paragraph, which is the one that you recommended to be changed from a design only to a design build.
Oh, so only change now, therefore be it resolved. And the
That's-
reason for that is?
The previous paragraph is the recommendation from the prior committee.
You're right. You're right, yeah. Yeah, the history can't be changed. It's the resolution that can be changed. Got it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
So
Good
could you
catch.
explain to us what that means for this RFP?
Absolutely. So in the traditional way of presenting an RFP for design, an engineer or an architect is retained to evaluate, provide a report, design construction documents, and then put them out to bid to qualified contractors to do the installation. The design build bypasses that step, not entirely, but only that it is a continuous flow of information, so that there is no gap between the design portion and the construction portion. With the traditional way, you competitively bid for a qualified engineer to perform the services, and then you go to competitive bidding
Right.
for a contractor to construct the work that has been designed. The reasoning for that traditional design is that you have the opportunity to specify exactly what you want and how you want it, and that way contractors can bid on one set of documents or instructions. With a design build, you give the general instructions to that vendor, that vendor still has to go through a design phase and then the construction phase, and depending how you word that, that can overlap the design and construction phases. But in this case, it is probably the best approach to complete a design before the contractor starts construction. I hope that answers your question, Director Park.
Then what is the advantage and disadvantage of our situation?
From my perspective, and that'll be my way of interpreting this, this approach, there seems to be a savings in time in going from a traditional design first, build next. So that is one advantage. It is thought that by designing precisely what you want, you get the best possible price from a contractor. And you can define that during the design phases of the project. So you are looking at, I believe that the reason for proposing a design build is to get a project completed by the end of 2027.
Mm-hmm.
Where we are right now, should the board approve a design only, I believe that we can still make the deadline with the traditional way. However, the board can direct staff to proceed with the design build option or alternative.
Okay.
Martin's going to explode.
Okay, I know.
Thank you, Bart. Appreciate your input. I know that solar, excuse me,
One meeting.
point of order.
One meeting.
This
Yes,
technology is not new. We've already got it even in Laguna Woods Village. There's not that many pieces to it. Solar bidders, they will come in and they will provide the design that they, after they've assessed what you've got, to give you what you need. And that's why this legislation has been brought forth, is to save time and to save money. And this is an opportunity for Laguna Woods Village to take advantage of that right now. Otherwise, we're in great jeopardy of not only losing that window of the opportunity of getting that rebate at the end of 27, but also increasing our costs and having to go through the whole design phase. The providers will provide the engineering and design for you. I think Gary has some information on that he, there's an acronym for it, I believe it is, right, Gary?
1 second,
No,
before
no,
you
no,
go,
no.
before you,
Oh, can't call?
You can't go
No,
here.
I'm so sorry.
We heard enough.
That's
I
Paul's
think.
job.
Oh,
before you go in.
We have to have the director speak first, then we
Yeah.
go to
certainly.
members.
1 second.
No.
I want to let you guys know that, which I have already mentioned to some of you, that our neighboring city, Irvine, has gone way beyond what we are even doing. They have started this process of using solarizing, or whatever you want to call it, their entire city, and they have a deadline of 2050 to completely cover the entire city with all the solar projects. I have been in touch with 1 or 2 people who are going to come, or they have even agreed to come over and talk to us and tell us how they did it, how they want to do it, and whatever their whole deep plan is, so that we can learn and learn from them what they're doing. And I'm going to organize it so we can all listen. So that's for you guys to know that Irvine is going to be completely covered with solar by 2050.
Yeah, we need to be progressive.
Correct.
So I've done a lot of research
Oh.
based upon, it's one of the reasons why I wanted to get this standing committee for energy established, so that we could look at all of this. But I've researched Irvine, and we could actually be a partner with them.
Correct.
But we have to have the proper people, like a consultant that knows our system you know, to be able to talk and negotiate, you know, with people like Irvine. That's what my research said, that's all I'm saying. Okay.
Step by step. So where are we now? What do we do next?
So if we have any more director comments, we can go to Gary Durst for member
Yes.
comment.
Yes, Gary. We are running late, so we're going to keep it short and quick.
I will try and keep it absolutely as on point as I can. The term you were trying to reach for is EPC, Engineering Procurement Contracting.
EPC.
EPC. That is the normal way that most of these projects are done these days.
What's the,
What I need,
what's the definition of the acronym?
EPC,
And meaning?
Engineering, Procurement, and Contracting.
Thank you.
Okay. While I'm 100% with you and Kush on the fact that I think that the design build is the way we need to go, what you need to understand is that when you're going to go out on a design build, you've still got to furnish them with a location and an approximation of what size of system that you want. I spent the last year and a half, because I was the chair of this committee before, doing the research on this. We got proposals. Just one person, but it's a better guesstimate than you're going to get from anybody else. I can tell you on every building of our major buildings how many panels we could put up there, what size of battery it would take, what needs to be done by GRF and corporate is to decide how much money they want to spend and what locations that they would be willing to put solar on. With those, then you can go this route. If you go and hire a consultant, you're going to start from ground zero. That person is probably going to pick whatever panel that they are in love with, whatever battery they are in love with, and they will come up with that as the package that they're going to recommend. But these EPCs have all got relationships with solar panel people, with battery people, etc. These will all be different good packages, but this consultant is going to tell you that you have to have this package. What you should do is get the proposals in from the people that you can then evaluate, because if you tell them they have to use this battery in that panel and it isn't stuff they're used to, they're either going to not bid or they're going to jack up the price because they don't have relationships with those vendors.
Okay.
That's all I got to say.
We are running out. Thank you. So with that, I want to let you guys know that we have another appointment at 1:30. So we need to move faster and can't have too much conversation.
So just,
So I'm
sorry,
gonna-
to clarify the amendment, I just wanted to clarify, if you don't mind. The only change we're going to make is now therefore be it resolved to change from design services only to design build. Is that correct?
Correct.
And nothing else.
In paragraph 3 and 4.
Not
I was
three.
told
Not three. Only
3 is
4.
history, not 4. Just
Only
4.
What happened to 3?
I'll
3
tell
is
you.
history.
3's gone?
Yeah.
3 is the history of how it got here. 4 is the resolution we're voting
And the
on.
title.
Oh, okay.
And the title.
And the title as well?
Title, yes.
Okay.
So I call for the question.
Yeah.
Let's vote, please, with the amendment.
Right now, you're just voting on the amendment. So
Yes.
I'm going to put it on the screen.
Can we
One
not vote
second.
with the amendment?
We are, we are
We have
voting.
to, you have to vote
Okay,
on the
Voting on the
amendment.
so let's do that.
Amendment for,
The changing of the,
Amendment I just described a minute ago.
okay,
Even Paul doesn't know what it is.
all right.
You're changing the title from design to build, and paragraph 4 from services only to build.
No, design and build.
No, we're
Design build,
changing
sorry.
it to design.
Designs-
we got it.
Okay.
Now,
So are
now,
we sending RFP out or not? That's my question.
Well, that's the next
That's no, next one.
Okay,
There's
we got
amendment
9.
on the.
I just want to
1, 2,
point out to
3, 4,
Paul
5, 6,
that it says an
7,
RFP for
8,
design services
9, 10.
only.
Oh, yeah, that's,
But the amendment was for design and
Yeah,
build
just-
services.
Forget about what's on the screen right now. In the
Okay.
minutes, it's
Okay.
being
All right.
corrected, yes.
Somebody hasn't voted.
No, we're good.
It's 6
It's
plus
10.
2 plus.
We have 10 votes.
Now I see it. Okay,
okay, we
All right.
amended the resolution.
okay. So now, what is next?
Now we're going to vote on the original motion. Give me 1 second with the amendment. Give me 1 second.
Oh, I thought we just did.
No, this is just.
That was just the amendment
is
you're voting
just
on right now.
amendment.
So we're going to go back to the original motion that was
Okay,
made.
so same, okay.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, guys. As amended, or whatever you want to call it.
So again, just don't worry about what's on the screen right now. You're voting for the original amendment as amended.
Okay.
Okay, please vote. It is 6 plus 0, no.
Okay.
All right, do you
Only-
have?
We need
all-
2 more votes.
Huh?
Yep, we're waiting. Okay, we got to vote.
7 plus 1, 8
Director Park.
plus 9.
There,
Okay,
there we go.
all right, so we have all our votes. The motion passes. Let's move forward. I think in the,
So keep in mind, we do have 1:30, and we also have a third board meeting here at 1:30 as well. So
correct.
we have to
So
wrap it up.
what I recommend is that we pass on the director comments.
No.
So we'll go to director comments rather than the
I think we need to just do finance report and just move it on, that's it.
finance report. Okay, madam, are you ready to?
All right.
Be a second, pull it up, please.
Yeah, I'll just give you a very quick one. So
Quick
slide,
report.
please.
What? Are we doing committee report?
Only
Just
one.
Only
finance.
finance.
That is, yeah, the must. Okay, I'm not going to go in all the details of the numbers, but just show the slides of the titles. Okay, the first table, this table number 1, slide number 1 shows the operating fund activities, right? So total expense and total revenue, so on. So we are worse than the budget, $372,000 short. And slide 2 shows a most significant operating fund variation. Green ones are positive ones, and then the orange, whatever, is unfavorable ones. So those are the items that we need to focus on those. So overall, we had already had the numbers, which is short, $372,000. Okay, let's go to the next slide. It shows, it shows source of revenue other than assessment. Okay, so non-assessment operation revenue. So broadband and so on. You can see still we have biggest revenue resources from broadband, so on. Okay, slide 4. Our largest operating fund expenses for the employment compensation. This is operating expenses. Category, 1 and 2 goes to a total 65%, and the rest of them are minor, categories of fund. Slide 5 shows the reserve fund activities. And slide 6 is our resale history, right? So we can see the trends here. And June is better than last year, so which is encouraging. And we don't have any clear pattern. It depends on the market, so on. So that's why we are really suffering from the low trust facility fees, but hopefully it increases as the time goes by for the rest of the year. slide 7, reserve and restricted funds, adjusted balance there. So we have still $27 million, but again, according to the reserve study that we have yesterday, we are going down until 28, 29. It's less than even $10 million. So that's why we need to watch out. Right, okay, let's go to our next slide. Those are fund encumbrance. So we are starting, we are still having a total appropriation, $33 million left, and remaining encumbrance is $12 million. Okay, so, yeah, $12 million still have to be spent. I believe, okay, slide 9, it shows, again, the average adjusted reserve fund balance is going down, way down, 2026, and it will go further down, up to the $10 million in 2028, according to our reserve study. All right, so an adjusted restricted fund balance is next chart. Okay, and that's it. And Finance Committee has not met last time, but we've been working on the budget, and we have a little detailed information about the monthly resale reports. Even though our average number went down a little bit, our average resale price is up. That was on the page 1 of 2 of item 14A3. That will complete my report.
Are you done? Thank you. Committee member comment from you. Any comments?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was a tough one.
It's been a long day.
And it's only half over.
Yeah. Hopefully the next one is going
Yes,
to be
Jeannie,
shorter.
I have a voice.
Sorry?
No, thank
Okay. SK, any?
No.
Okay. Yvonne? Nothing? Okay.
But I have a future agenda item from the, Security Access Committee, and we need to modify our charter.
Okay.
Because it's conflicting with it's never been modified for the last 15 years. It's conflicting with traffic safety hearing committee.
Why don't
So we
you
need to
set
look at it
something
for the
up and
future
let's
one.
review it.
Okay.
Okay. Martin? Okay. Jeannie?
Drive safe, drive slow.
And stay cool.
You can stay as hot as you want, but slow down.
Carol? Okay. With that, I think we will recess till
I would say 1:25. That way we can get Jeff in.